fall in? Been there a while. Did you fall in? Hope you lit a match. P.U. Is that you? He stinks. You're not allowed to come over anymore. I can smell it in my office. P.U.
Did you fall in the toilet?
Maybe you should light a match. I'll do it. I don't want you to play with matches.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Thursday, July 31st, 2025. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Millis.
Cold open, did it again, got us giggling. Nice one.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby. Hey,
Hey,
yo.
yo.
And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hi, JD.
There he
I
is.
lost my camera for a second.
Here we are. Were you lighting a match over there?
I was.
Okay.
You
fallen?
I don't want you guys playing with matches.
Thank you. Hello to everybody joining us live on YouTube. Hello to the podcast listeners. Everybody, do your like button stuff and your subscription stuff and your 5-star ratings and review stuff. Got some big news here before we get into a very fun NBA show where we're going to share reasons for optimism for all 30 NBA teams. So this could be a long one.
Yeah.
Got a lot of teams to talk about. But today marks No Dunks' last day and podcast at The Athletic. Your boys are moving on. Safe to say it was a pretty epic run. By my count, 1,445 podcasts, No Dunks episodes with The Athletic over 6 years. Because then there's no buffs. There were some no breaks. There were some no bunts. There were Summer of Champions. Probably some other ones I'm forgetting, but that's a whole lot of podcasts. We wanted to say big thanks to the entire team at The Athletic for helping us build this show and being such great collaborators and teammates. We had countless guests on this pod over 6 seasons. We owe a great deal of gratitude to Nick Adler back in the day for believing in us. In 2019, after we wrapped up at NBA TV, he was pretty instrumental in helping us convince then Athletic co-founders Alex and Adam to bring us on board and to start the podcast with The Athletic. So many thanks to Nick and those guys. Our creative and audio bosses, Jesse Burton, Craig Custance, Tim McMaster. Awesome NBA, honestly. Some of the best NBA coverage in the world, led by Rob Peterson, Sergio Gonzalez, Mike Prada. I mean, I could just keep naming names here, but you get the idea. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that helps us do the show. Adam Jones, always in our corner. A thanks, mate, to him on the other side of the pond. Will Bartlett was fantastic in the early years. We made him a bamboo boy, for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah, we did. We inducted a lot of bamboo boys over the past 6 years.
Our guy, Jerome Chang, forever in debt to him, how much he helped us grow this show. He's obviously with the Hello and Welcome podcast up in Canada. Hugs and kisses to Chris Branch and Zach Harper for including us in as many newsletters as possible. I was always bothering them. Yeah,
Great
I love
stuff.
those two guys.
I do love to hug Zach.
Yeah, and a final, and really, I mean, maybe the most tearful sort of goodbye, but huge thanks to our guy, Eshua Kid. Esh is staying on at The Athletic because he's an awesome producer. They're lucky to have him, but this will be moving on, for now at least, from Esh. I just named a bunch of people. I'm sure I missed another 100, but 6 years, an end of an era here for us at The Athletic.
Yeah. Well, you said off the beginning it was going to be long because we're going to go through all 30 NBA teams, but it might be long just because we might thank The Athletic for several years.
True.
Because you said it was a little teary for Eshua Kid. I mean, it started kind of teary. In 2019, we needed someone. We needed somebody to keep this show going. And Alex Mather, Adam Hansman, they looked at us along with Nick Adler and said, those guys, bring them in. So it was a great start also just to be part of that transition in The Athletic, which was an incredible writing website, but turned to production of podcasts. So we were there. So it can be looked at for us as we step back as a great start, an emotional start, and then sort of this cultural transition in The Athletic to then be hired by the New York Times or purchased by the New York Times, I should say. So it is quite a storied 6 years for us.
I can't believe it's 6 years.
Yeah.
It sort of went by in
Flew by.
the blink of an
fly by.
eye. I mean, we are like year 20, 21, whatever it is here with this show, but 6 of them at The Athletic. And a lot, like, this is the most amount of episodes we've ever done in one spot. to put that in context, which is sort of mind-boggling.
Yeah,
Doing a lot of
NBA TV didn't make us work in the summer. That was nice. So that's like 2 months a year and no working.
I should say here before we get hear from Trey and JD on this too. As for no dunks, you don't need to worry. Like, we have big plans coming later this summer, early fall. We can't make those announcements just quite yet, but they are coming, and fear not, No Dunks is not going anywhere. I will say, though, if you are one of the people that do listen to this podcast on the Athletic platform, make sure you switch over to Apple or Spotify or YouTube, some other podcast site where you can listen and download the show. That's the one change for you people that only listen on the Athletic platform. But otherwise, No Dunks is here through the summer, and then again, big announcements coming.
Exactly right. What'd you say, about 1,500 podcasts plus the other ones?
Yeah.
It was a really fun 6 years for sure. We thank everybody for all of their support, their encouragement, their collaboration. It's great getting to just like Slack with Eric Name, right? Like guys that you love reading their writing, and they'll tell you about Doc Rivers if you want to hear about it.
Yeah.
So it's been a rewarding 6 years for sure. And like you said, nothing's going to change because we were smart this time. We get to keep the name going forward. So that's exciting. The four of us going forward, still No Dunks. Stay tuned in. Like this is our last day at the Athletic. Guess what? We'll be back next week doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Yes. For you out there, nothing's
change
really
all
gonna
that much.
change. It's on the back end of things, and JD, that really pertains to you more than even us.
Yeah.
With how much you have to work with, obviously, all the people at the
Oh,
Athletic.
yeah. I'm going to add Schlecht to the list of
Sure.
names. What about this guy? Schlecht was absolutely a joy to work with, and he was instrumental in helping us out with Summer League stuff and just being around and bouncing ideas off and stuff. Another guy, Mike Smeltz. He left the company about a year ago, but he was also one of our great backers. And yeah, as you say, we not only keep the name, but we keep all of our feeds except for the Athletic, the private feed. So go ahead and unsubscribe, I guess, is what we're saying. No, I'm just kidding. Enjoy the Athletic. There's no ill will here at all. We're excited to see what they come up with down the road, and we'll just be competing directly with them, which...
Let's go. Let's fight.
Let's go.
Let's fight. But also, could I please still have a subscription to the Athletic? Because I really do enjoy reading all of the writers there.
Same. I do have a little bit of Daniel Plainview in me, though, right? It's like, I drink your milkshake. Oh, my son is going against me. Well, okay, fine. It's on.
Okay.
But, it's in a friendly way and a loving way. And it was a great 6 years. I mean, God, like you glossed over the pandemic.
Oh, I know.
So there was all of that as well. So it was a tumultuous time.
Yes.
And our man Lee Ellis left the show too. Oh yeah, remember him?
Yeah,
he left.
that's right.
Wild times behind us. Hopefully even wilder times ahead of us.
That's right.
Things are going to get maybe weird around here. That's my plan.
That's your plan.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
could
plan.
see that happening.
The goal for moving into next season, let's get weird.
Let's get weird.
Let's get weirder.
Let's get weirder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, if you're a fan of that, hit the like button, subscribe, 5-star ratings and reviews. That would be the perfect time right now throughout the summer to boost your boys and help us out there. And thanks to everybody that already has, of course. Should we get into this, which could be still a very long podcast here?
We still got like 600 people at the Athletic to name, so
Apologies
flip them in after the
someone
Western
we didn't-
Conference.
Yeah, okay.
We love you, Rob Peterson. I think I said him.
Yeah, Rob.
Oh, okay. Let me throw back to
on.
another
I need
one.
to
We
know.
love you, Law Murray.
There you go.
Okay.
Good one.
Western Conference.
You know who I do love? I do love a lot of these right now.
Here
We
we
just
go.
saw him in Vegas, though. Will Guillory.
Oh, love Will
Will
Guillory.
Guillory's one of the best. Seriously, I get excited when I see him. Like, he's just a smiley guy, man.
Oh, yeah. Great
Just
energy.
a cool guy to talk to. Shout out to Will.
Yeah, he's on a new video with our man Fred Katz that we didn't even mention.
God, break some fruit.
Okay,
Okay,
much.
we gotta stop.
Rob
Let's-
Peterson just went to Ireland. I want to hear about his Irish trip. Let's get him on the next podcast. Just him about Ireland.
Do you
Yeah,
think
Rob-
he brought back some Irish soap?
Is that some Irish soap? Yes, absolutely.
Isn't that your favorite thing about St. Patrick's Day?
No, you're referencing an email that we got from our man Jeremy Bippo,
That's right.
who brought up the 3 funniest things I've ever said to him. And when you say that we've done literally almost 3,000 podcasts, probably.
No,
of course.
No, we've done that.
Of course, there's going to be some random things that I can say 3 funny things in 3,000 podcasts. It is possible. So yes, that's what you're referencing.
Let me just read what he wrote in the email.
Oh, man.
This is what Tass said. His favorite thing about St. Patrick's Day tradition is opening a fresh box of the green Irish Spring soap bar. I vaguely remember you saying
Oh, man.
this.
That was so long ago.
What a pull from
St. Patrick's
Bippo.
Day.
I do love St. Patrick's Day. I have to learn the Irish dances. So I think that's what Rob Peterson's going to teach us all on that new podcast next week.
Okay.
Rod's pod.
Oh, that's how we're going to get weird? We're going to have Rob Peterson in here to teach Tass an Irish jig.
Why not?
What? That would be weird.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
very
Why not? Okay, let's talk hoops here. We are looking at reasons for every team's fans to be optimistic about the coming year. Or maybe your reasons that you're optimistic about said team. We're going to go through all 30. We'll move with some pace. We're doing it by divisions.
Oh!
Because we're the last podcast on earth that cares about divisions. Let's start with the Northwest Division out in the West. And we obviously will take turns sort of leading these conversations. Trey, we start with you, the Denver Nuggets. What's a big reason for optimism coming into next season?
Easy one.
Okay.
Denver Nuggets is an easy optimism finding mission. 3 reasons to me. They got a new bench. New bench alert, Valanciunas. It looks like he's going to be a Denver Nugget after all. Not playing for Panathinaikos. I think they got a large baby Thomas Bryant instead. They got Tim Hardaway Jr. They got Bruce Brown. They got De'Ron Holmes coming back for his real rookie season after suffering an injury during his first Summer League game last year. So that alone is a reason to be optimistic if you're a Denver Nugget. They have struggled to put players outside of their starting 5 since winning the title back in 2023. You also got to have Cam Johnson as a reason for optimism. It was 18 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists per game last season with the Nets. Shot 48 from the field, 39 from 3, 89 at the line. I think he's got a pretty reasonable shot at a 50, 40, 90 season playing alongside Nikola Jokic. Because if you're putting up those percentages as the number 1 guy on a bad Brooklyn team, getting easier shots, playing in a better offense, being the number 3, number 4 at times option, should get some good looks. So I think that is also a reason to be optimistic. But biggest reason, you still got the best player in the world, baby. Nikola Jokic coming off 5 years of some of the greatest numbers we've ever seen. Maybe had his best season last year and didn't even win MVP. This is the best Nuggets team since their title team. Talent-wise, you might even put them ahead of that title team. We'll see how they all click because things were perfect for Denver back in the 2023 season. So I think there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic if you're a Nuggets fan. My ranking would be an 8.5 out of 10 optimism.
Wow. And Jokic coming off a big horse race win.
Big horse race
Gonna
win.
ride that, pun
yeah.
intended, into the season. That high. The $3,500 he apparently won in that Serbian horse race.
People are like, that won't even feed a horse for a year.
There's not enough for oats.
Yeah, I was confused by that currency. It was $3,500 followed by a dollar sign. I was confused by that.
yeah.
Is it dollars? Or is it?
I don't know,
Nobody
man.
knows. Is it euros? I don't know.
It's not a lot, I think, is what we're getting at. But he does it.
It was just a
For the love of the
horse
horse.
winning a quick race. I can understand why it wasn't a lot.
Quick race.
Congratulations.
Well, look, think of the season that he could have. He could win the horse race. He could win Eurobasket.
Oh.
And the Nuggets are at least going to be a title contender going into the 25-6 season.
Yep.
Absolutely. 8.5 is low to me. I'd go 9.88. I mean, super
Okay,
high. I
okay.
would go super high. We were sitting here last year when Boston Celtics won thinking, oh, Boston's going to win a ton more championships. Here we are. And OKC isn't a lock to win 25-26 because of the Denver Nuggets and other teams that we'll get to. I mean, like you said, Nikola Jokic is the best player in the freaking world, and that team got way better around him, and he's still in his prime. Very excited to see what they got this year.
All right, Taz, let's move to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
We're starting with a couple teams here that will give OKC
Yeah.
a run. The Minnesota Timberwolves have all the reasons to be optimism. They just went to 2 straight conference finals, the only Western Conference team to do that. And here we go. Anthony Edwards, year 6. Can he grow a little bit more? Can he be more of a playmaker like Jason Tatum became when they won the championship in year 7 for him? So Anthony Edwards, it all starts with that guy. To come into this season after going to the conference finals with the same team around him, essentially, something that they didn't do last year when they traded Karl Anthony Towns. They were still able to fight through it and get to the conference finals. So you got to be super optimistic about that. And then it trickles down. Julius Randle, we didn't see it coming for a guy to be traded just before training camp to be the best version of himself in the postseason. There's something going on there with Chris Finch being able to get through to him. So there's that. I mean, the questions start as you go down a little bit lower on the roster. Jaden McDaniels turned into to a new player in the playoffs. Sure, Rudy Gobert, we know he's sort of at his peak, but then it goes to like the Mike Conley and the bench questions. Mike Conley, we know it's a transition time. The Minnesota Timberwolves and I think Chris Finch are ready to say, hey, we got guys that can replace him essentially. Rob Dillingham off the bench and TJ Shannon are sort of going to be that two-headed unit where we saw TJ Shannon kind of grow into a new player in Summer League where he can basically be your second point guard with Nickeil Alexander-Walker gone. There's a lot on him. There's a lot on Rob Dillingham. And I think Dante DiVincenzo getting just more reps here, having more time because he was also part of that deal is a good sign from them. And everybody, for him, I should say. And everybody is, I think, in the franchise ready to say, Mike Conley, you got to pass the torch here to that trio that I sort of mentioned, especially Rob Dillingham and TJ Shannon, but Dante DiVincenzo as well. So those are the questions. But when you're led by Ant, I think you've got an incredible team here. Great sign for them to be able to have don't have to do the fresh start thing like they did with Karl Anthony Towns gone. Here we go. This is the same freaking team that they're running back.
And how about Rudy Gobert working in the gym with Lethal Shooter?
He understands it now.
He understands it now, man. He's going to be splashing threes next year.
Didn't Anthony Edwards once say that if Rudy Gobert takes a three-pointer, he's going to take off all of his clothes? Rudy Gobert's going to shoot a 3 this year.
He did say
I am
that.
optimistic we're going to see a nude Anthony Edwards on the court this year.
He didn't take one last year.
I don't know, but I feel like
he must
wasn't
have,
Rudy
yeah?
shooting like during like the run up to the Olympics last year or something like that? And Ant was obviously playing for Team USA as well. He's like, he ain't going to be shooting threes when he comes to Minnesota. But we'll see. It's good for the Timberwolves to have continuity because they really clicked last season, the second half after Randall came back. They figured out how to play alongside each other. So this year, not being thrown together at the last second, definitely going to help. They need big seasons from Dillingham and Shannon to kind of make up for Nickeil Alexander-Walker taking off and Mike Conley just starting to regress a little bit. So I think that is the biggest question marks for Minnesota is their rookies from last year.
I just looked it up. Rudy Gobert has never hit a three-pointer in his NBA career. He didn't even take one last year. 0 for 17 from deep in his career. 0 for 1 in the playoffs.
Okay.
So I guess add it up, he's 0 for 18. So you can keep your clothes comfortably on there, Ant, for now. But, again, he's putting in all this work. The shirt was off in the gym. You're seeing the videos going viral. Looking good, getting his footwork right. He understands it now, so we'll see. But yeah.
Okay, he just says he would walk off the court. I don't...
Why did you add that sexy part to it?
I don't know. Dreaming, I guess.
There's questions, I guess, about Ant and whether or not he'll ever take a shirt off, but also just the depth of this team.
Anthony Edwards should keep his clothes on.
You're probably right.
If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm
Probably
talking about. You got enough, man. You're not even old, man. All right, I love it. Let's keep it moving. OKC. You talked about those two teams we just did. Denver, Minnesota, they'll be challenging the defending champs, Oklahoma City Thunder, in their quest to go back-to-back. And that's sort of like the reason for optimism. They have a goal here. They're going to be trying to do something that hasn't happened in a while in the NBA, and that is win back-to-back titles. Can they snap the NBA parity championship streak that we are sort of in? A lot of you know this. For the first time in NBA history, we had 7 different champions across 7 different consecutive seasons. Raps in 19, Lakers in the bubble, even though Daryl Morey says doesn't count. We had the Bucks, we had the Warriors, we had the Nuggets, the Celtics, and then the Thunder last year. But what I'm really optimistic about is just the continuity of this team. The defending champs are returning every key player who saw any sort of action in the 2025 playoffs in their run to the title. Everybody. Supermax for SGA, no-brainer. Max deals for Chet Holmgren and J-Dub. So things are going to get very expensive, but they know the window here is now to win as many titles as you can with this obviously good team. They extended Jalen Williams, the big one, AJ Mitchell. So they just have their whole squad here. And I guess some people are saying, what about Nikola Topic as well? I got the 6'6" Serbian guard. We saw him in Summer League. I think he'll play a lot of time in the G League just because there's not a lot of minutes to go around unless there's an unfortunate injury to somebody in the pecking order. So you put him in that low-pressure environment in the G League and let him learn the ropes a little bit more. He's super young. I think he'll be 20 next season. But I just can't find really anything wrong with this team. I guess you just say, well, now that all the guys got paid, well, they take their foot off the gas. They do not seem wired to me like that. So they are the favorites in my mind, as much as you want to make a case for Denver, Minnesota, Eastern Conference teams, whatever. This is the team to beat. And everybody knows it.
No question. Yeah, Topic might have a good Euro basket. Maybe that'll help him out. I mean, there's really nothing to poke holes in. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to take his shirt off. We know he likes to take his shirt off.
He does.
Yeah. So, no, there's no holes. And yes, those guys are not wired like that. Jalen Williams has never been wired like that. He just had his first drink of alcohol in his life just now. I mean, he's just steady. They're all steady.
I was going to ask, like, what'd they go? They went 68-14 last year. Like, do you think they match that? Maybe do take their foot off the gas a little bit in the regular season. You play the long game a little more. Like, where do you put them in terms of win total? Just out of curiosity, next year in a very loaded still Western Conference. But are they an easy 60-win team? Are they flirting with 70 wins like they did last year? What do you think?
60 plus for sure, but I don't think 68. I think they'll probably be less than that. Like, I think they'll play Topic. Like, they play young guys during the regular season. AJ Mitchell is also a good player, and this guy's maybe their third point guard. Topic and AJ Mitchell would be like a development piece for 20 teams, and the NBA would be happy to have those guys as a young rookie second-year player who they're building up, trying to figure out what they've got, and they're like, maybe you can get 10 minutes a game for this team. So, yeah, I mean, OKC, the only way I don't see them making the conference finals is if SGA gets hurt. Yeah. I think they can do it if J-Dub gets hurt. I think they can do it if Chet gets hurt. Like, we've seen them still be successful without those guys. The key for them is keeping Shai healthy, and that guy is pretty healthy all the time.
Yeah, that's a good point about AJ Mitchell. Maybe their goal, if they have any goals other than what they normally do, is to have another ball handler. I do believe so. AJ Mitchell could be that guy, but they're stacked.
And they are one of these teams that can have an unfortunate injury to a guy or two or three, and they just have so many guys that they can slot in.
Like
there
they had last year.
Exactly.
So Chet and Hartenstein playing a full season together will be fun if they play together.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it going. Trey, back to you. Portland Trailblazers.
Well, I was feeling more optimistic before we started with the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Thunder, all in their same division. Not just the same conference. Like, those are 3 conference finals/title competitors ahead of the Trailblazers, who I'm still excited to see what they do. Like, I'm excited to see Jan Hansen. I don't think he's going to play as much as we're anticipating because this should be a Donovan Clingan start. But the thing I'm most optimistic about is Scooters Tutors. We're talking about Scoot Henderson going into year 3 with 3 Hall of Fame point guards to learn from.
Scooters Tutors. That's good, man.
I've heard him fart before.
Come on. Can't you imagine like a caricature shirt that says like Scooters Tutors and it's got Billups, Drew Holiday, and Dame Lillard behind Scoot Henderson, like rooting him on, kind of. Or something like that,
or like I see like bottom. They're almost like professors or something like that.
Yeah,
He's at the chalkboard, you know, like writing something about the point guard position. I love it.
Yeah, so 35% on 3 for Scoot last season on 4.5 attempts. That's pretty good. Shot 47% on 2s, which was an improvement, but still not very good. But it's year 3 for this guy. A lot of players make a leap in year 3. He was comped to Derrick Rose coming into the draft. He's not the athlete that Derrick Rose was, but in year 3 is when Derrick Rose won MVP. He figured out how to attack the rim and use his body to draw fouls, which really helps your efficiency. And I think that's something Scoot can do as well. I don't necessarily think that having a bunch of good point guards who were good 10 years ago means that Scoot is going to be good, but they're putting him in a good situation. He just needs to be the main offensive driver for this team, which maybe is a little bit more to ask from him. So I'm more of like a 6 of 10 optimistic-wise for the Trailblazers, just because they're in the Western Conference, man, and it's tough. We're just talking about their division. They got 3 awesome teams ahead of them. A good season for Portland this year would be to make the play-in tournament, but I think they should at least make a run at the play-in tournament. I don't guarantee they're going to be there, but I like what they did the second half of last season. You know, the guys that maybe were holding them back from taking a developmental leap, and Anthony Simons and DeAndre Ayton, those guys are gone. It's all youth. It's all about getting better going forward. So I do like where the Blazers are at. Unfortunately, they do play against a lot of really good teams.
They won 36 games last year, and I bring that up because I just looked at their BetMGM, win total prediction line heading into next season. It's at 33.5. And again, I think it just speaks to the loaded Western Conference. Like they're like, I don't think you think this team got worse. I don't think anyone thinks that, but maybe it's a little fool's gold at the end of the year when they did sort of turn things around. Like they leaned into a defensive, or they found a bit of a defensive identity. And I think that helped them win some games. Again, some of those games in March and stuff, it's like a little weird. There's injuries and all that, but I don't know. I like
You ready
that.
to hit that over?
A little bit. A little bit. I don't see why they're much worse or at all record-wise than last year. So I feel pretty. I think the competing for a play-in spot is the goal and should be, and I think they can be there come later part of the regular season.
That's the goal. Playing. There's so much talent on this roster, and I guess that is the optimism, is that all that talent is going to be taught by great talent, over the last 5-6 years. So they started 14-28 last year. So midway through the year, they're on pace for about 27, 28 wins.
So they played better in the second
They
half.
did.
Yeah.
They kicked ass. I mean, Denny Avdia is going to be. There's going to be a lot on him. He's going to be so good. You mentioned Clint. Like they have a really good starting lineup. Even with Scoot Henderson essentially coming off the bench, probably they should be good. They should be.
Yeah, and we've talked already a lot about it does feel like a Scoot / Sharp. Like who really can level up? Can both those guys sort of be like, whoa, this guy's a cornerstone guy for our team moving forward? Yeah. And that's where the help comes in with, I guess, Drew and Damian and Billups as your head coach, being a point guard, Hall of Fame point guard, helping those guys develop.
Yeah, with Simons out, with Anthony Simons gone, they have time. They have time opportunity for time to play anyway.
Do you think Drew Holiday is going to be in the Hall of Fame?
That's a great question.
I mentioned him as a Hall of Fame point guard. 2 titles. 1 All-Star appearance, or what? Maybe he got 3 All-Star appearances. He had the one with Philadelphia back then. I'm sure he made it with the Bucks as well. But
2-time All-Star,
2-time All-Star,
6-time All-Defensive Player, 2-time champ, 2-time
beloved
sportsmanship.
Guy.
Yeah.
Yes, people love this guy.
Yeah.
I think he gets in when the voters want to have somebody in for his off the court type of contribution to the game. I think
that definitely helps him. Yeah.
You're probably right. Probably not a first balloter, but during the right year, he'll make it. He will
That
definitely be
sounds more realistic. Yes. Definitely not a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's not even a knock on Drew Holiday. Guy's like a 16 point per game scorer for his career. He played a long time though, and still playing. And I don't know, is he even going to be in Portland? What are they going to do? Will anybody take Jeremy Grant's contract? Can they get off that? So questions there in Portland, but some optimism. Final team in the Northwest, Tass, Utah Jazz.
Well, it gets bleak with the Blazers. Now it gets real bleak with the Utah Jazz. But I'm going to be optimistic.
Well, that's the point of
this is going to be the 5th place team in the Northwest Division. They could be as projected to be the 15th best team in the Western Conference. But I think they can take that going into the season, say we are underrated and we are better than that. Lauri Markkanen will be their leader. He'll be fresh off the Eurobasket where he's leading his Finnish team. And I do think the offense running through him will be optimal. I think it'll be really good. 2 years ago when Lauri Markkanen got there, Will Hardy got him to buy into basically, running around mid-range and out and being a primary focus. And this was a middle-of-the-pack offense. So I think they can get closer to that with everything focused on him. Guys like Kyle Anderson coming and being those sort of the connectors to those guys. Kevin Love to teach some guys before he leaves later this season. And then guys like Kyle Filipowski and Ace Bailey. I mean, this team is going to be huge. And I think that's optimal. They're going to shoot a ton of threes. The question is with their guard play, where are they going to get it from? I think they've got a decent amount of good bigs, but Walter Clayton could be the steal of the draft. That guy looks awesome. And I think he is a very talented dude. He looked like fun in summer league. Like he's just a smart guy, and I think that's good for their offense because Walter Clayton isn't a guy who's going to try and take every single shot, and that's wonderful for a Will Hardy offense. I think Will Hardy will get them to buy in. Everybody flying around the 3-point line, and they have other guys like Isaiah Collier and Keontae George to run the point. But I think Walter Clayton will be the sign of the future for this team because. I don't know. I buy in Will Hardy getting these guys to work and getting Lauri Markkanen to be the focus of their offense, and we'll see what Ace Bailey can do around him. But they have a bunch of different guys. I don't know if Walker Kessler is going to be there. Right. Who knows? It seems like a all 5 out type of team. Yusuf Nurkic's going to shoot a lot of threes. I can't believe I said Yusuf Nurkic's name, but they're going to play.
He's on the Jazz.
He's on the Jazz.
I thought the key word you said there, if you're a Jazz fan going into next season, is hopefully fun. Is it a fun squad? Because they're going to be picked by everybody to be dead last in the Western Conference.
Yep.
Like, will they even get to 20 wins? At least they've already decided heading into the season that we're sort of like not even tanking, but like, hey, it's the young generation here, and we are just starting with that. We've traded or got rid of all of our vets, and don't worry, we won't have to like fake shut down guys with like pseudo injuries to like not win as many games because we want to help our lottery chances. Like that's not even going to be a problem because they're just so young and they're going to see what they have there. But hopefully they're entertaining at the very least.
Yeah, and I like for them the fact Jordan Clarkson, Colin Sexton are gone.
Yeah.
You don't have to shoot a lot from the backcourt. You're going to run through things through the big men, and guys like Walter Clayton will run a good offense. I do think he's the champ. He's a Florida champ, and so let these other guys play. Let it run through the big guys. I think that's what will happen with this team.
Who are
It
you
should be
most
fun.
excited to maybe talk about or watch on the Jazz?
Ace Bailey.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they should, and I think they will trade Lauri Markkanen this season. It just doesn't really make sense for him to stick around. All of their best players are like 22 and younger. It's a new front office, kind of. It's like a part of the new front office's son coming over. So I don't think they're necessarily tied to any of the previous draft picks, like the Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks sort of guys. I don't think they're necessarily there, so I don't think Markkanen sticking around makes much sense. The Jazz are still in rebuild mode, so it would make sense for them to get some more assets back for, you know, a guy who doesn't really fit their time frame now. And the Jazz are going to be wearing completely new jerseys. They did like a half rollout last season. They're adding even more mountainous looks this year, and I'm optimistic that those will look good.
Okay, that's nice. It's a good little thing to look forward to. All right, let's move to the Pacific Division. Golden State Warriors. I've got this team. Reason for optimism is a full season with Jimmy Butler. This is a bit of a no-brainer here. They traded for him in February, and then they finished 23-7 when he was playing over the final 30 games, a pretty damn good record. Now, a lot of other teams in the West were putting up really good records as we headed into the playoffs as well, but over that stretch, the Warriors had the best defense in the league. It was a 109.0 defensive rating. When you got Jimmy beside Draymond Green, obviously Steph was playing there. They had a really good net rating over those final 30 games, only behind OKC and Boston. They led the NBA in assist percentage, like the ball was moving. They looked good. And then in the playoffs, they got by the Rockets in 7. I forgot how important Jimmy was in that game 1 to set the tone in that series. 25 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, 5 steals. But then he got banged up. Obviously, as the playoffs went on, Steph Curry got taken out of the lineup, so like things sort of like derailed quickly. But if they're healthy and they have these 3 guys, I know they got a lot of things to figure out here. We're still with Kuminga and restricted free agency, and we don't need to talk about that on today's pod. And then, obviously, once they do figure that out, Horford and Melton and stuff like that. But you got Jimmy here to start training camp, and with this season, they should be a good team. I think they're fascinating where people sort of slot them in the Western Conference and how much faith you do have in these sort of old guys, but that's the reason. Jimmy's there from the jump, and they were good when he was there.
They were really good when he was there, but you look at their basketball reference page and they got 10 guys on their roster right now because they haven't been able to fill things out because of the Kuminga question. I'm more bullish on the Warriors in the playoffs than I am during the regular season. I think they can still be down near the play-in tournament just because Steph will miss a little bit of time. Draymond will miss a little bit of time. Jimmy will miss a little bit of time. This is an old team, and the key will be having them healthy come April, May, and June, if they're fortunate. So it makes sense for them to kind of manage minutes and the load on these guys' bodies going through the regular season. But once it's into 7-game series mode, I'm scared of the Warriors for sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the question is the depth that they add, will it be younger guys? Because I would want them to play a lot of minutes in the regular season. So I don't love the idea of a injured DeAnthony Melton coming back, although I'm a DeAnthony Melton fan. An old Al Horford coming back.
Who can't even play back-to-backs or shouldn't.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah.
He makes the team even older. Gary Payton II coming back, who's a guy who's been banged up. So I'm a little worried about the regular season. As you said, playoffs, nobody's worried. We will see what they do. But yeah, this is an old team. Draymond Green's gray beard is getting grayer. It's a little bit worrisome for the Warriors.
LA Clippers, Trey. Why are you excited?
I think they're going to be the best team in LA this year.
I believe it.
Both the Clippers and Lakers won 50 games last season. The Lakers did win this season series 3-1. I think once we get to like preseason tiers and stuff, we'll probably have the Lakers and Clippers in the same tier.
Yeah.
And I would have the Clippers just ahead of them because I think they probably have the best 2 deep in the league. At point guard, they got James Harden and Chris Paul. At shooting guard, Bradley Beal and Bogdan Bogdanovic. 4 Bs, 2 men.
Killer bees.
That's pretty cool. Small forward, Kawhi Leonard, Derrick Jones Jr. Power forward, John Collins, Nick Batum. Center, Ivica Zubac and Brook Lopez. We're talking about Derrick Jones Jr. and Chris Dunn as the 10th and 11th man on this team. That's pretty deep. Though I haven't checked every team. The Clippers' top 11 are all born in 1997 or earlier. They've got 4 guys who were born in the 80s.
It's, I think, the oldest. I thought I saw
crazy old
somewhere
team, man.
somebody say it's the oldest team ever.
It must be.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not have one guy in your rotation who was born in the 2000s?
Yeah.
That's something to worry about.
Yeah, sure.
But if you're going to have all old guys, get a lot of them. Because eventually when they miss time, you can just slide one of these guys in, right? Like Chris Dunn is a pretty solid point guard. He was really good for the Clippers last year, and he's basically an emergency guy or a defensive stopper guy for them. So I'm feeling optimistic about the Clippers. I'm like a 7 of 10. It's the preseason, it's the regular season, it's talk yourself
paper.
into them time. Of course. But we're being optimistic here. We're not talking about a playoff series. We all know how that's going to go. But right now, things are awesome for LA.
Yeah, I like people comparing the Clippers to like the old team that shows up at the YMCA, like the old guys. And like you're just like, damn, why can't we beat these guys? Or,
Yeah.
You know, like the kids are thinking that, like these guys are like 20 years older than us, but they got all the skill still. But the problem with the old guys is they do get injured and get banged up, and we'll see. On paper, it looks awesome, but we've said that many times with the LA Clippers. But I know you seem to be a fan of at least what they did in the offseason, what they've added here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that they had the same amount of wins as the Lakers last year and got better in this offseason, I mean, that tells you that they're going to be good. And they've had 14 straight seasons of winning records. That's the active leader in the NBA because it's 14 freaking straight seasons. The question is, when does it end? Because they are old. And that's the interesting thing to me is watching this team with such a short window. How many more years can this team stay together with all these older guys at the top? But that's what makes it fun. This year has a chance for them to be good. I don't know what they're going to do in the playoffs. I don't. They could be incredible. They almost beat the Denver Nuggets. I know it's just the Denver Nuggets, and the Nuggets aren't the champion, but they almost got them. So they got better. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's all about matchups and health come playoff time. So we'll see what happens. But basically, the Clippers have a 2-year window this year and next year. And then 2027, they've got Zubac under contract and then guys that they have recently drafted. So it's now or never for LA.
Right. The Lakers tests.
Oh, yeah.
Lucas hot bod.
I would say the guy that got drafted way earlier than him is why you should be optimistic. They just have the number 1 pick of the 2018 draft coming on in. DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton is going into his prime. He's 27 years old. I know no one's high on him outside of LA. I mean, listen, the Clippers got way better in the offseason. On paper, the Lakers did too.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton will play, and that's a great sign because JJ Redick is going to play him. JJ Redick did an incredible job of playing essentially LeBron at center in the playoffs. That front line of LeBron, Rui Hachimura, and Dorian Finney-Smith, that's who they were playing. That's who they were playing. And they're both playing LeBron, Luka, over 40 minutes. They're all playing heavy minutes. So DeAndre Ayton gets the slide in. If anyone can do something with DeAndre Ayton, can help him be who he was when they drafted him in 2018. He was talking about video games in an elevator with Luka Doncic. If anyone can get that from him, it's LeBron. You got a guy here in LeBron who was planning on playing 82 games last year, and he did obviously get hurt. But the guy plays through everything. So if there's anybody that can get DeAndre Ayton to hustle, to play on defense, hopefully it's JJ Redick. But it could be LeBron James. And so there's that exciting side of things that they got DeAndre Ayton. And then there's the other side. I mean, that's what makes this potentially entertaining is that this team, it could implode. I mean, you've got that
Absolutely.
You've got the fun part. DeAndre Ayton, Luka, as you said, extremely svelte. Maybe it's the photos, but whatever. He looks good. Then on the other side, I mean, things just may not go right. There's this whole LeBron is leaving type of thing. You could have like the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills type of feel in there, like it just may not be all that great on the floor, but also they have great talent. So The scary part is they are in the Western Conference. There's a lot of great teams. And so to get them into the level of the teams of Denver, Houston, OKC, Minnesota, I mean, that's going to be tough. That's going to be very
to go
tough.
back to what you said. Yeah, like get the poll going. Clippers or Lakers? Like, who do you have more faith in? Like, how do you put those two teams in order? If you have them in the same tier, sure, but where do you put them in order? You guys were leaning more towards the Clippers maybe in the regular season. I think I'm still more Lakers, but they did great work. And they have guys that, like, it is a real, like, they got guys like in the Clippers situation, Beal, of course, and then Ayton for the Lakers jumps to mind, like, guys that got to prove something here to the rest of the league, like, have, like, sort of been cast aside or questioned, and they're still good players and maybe in this different environment with better talent around them that they can pop. So we'll see. But, you know, look. Anybody's better than Jackson Hayes as a starting center.
That's right.
So you now have Ayton.
I've been looking at Airbnbs on Ayton Island.
Oh, nice.
I'm not going to move there, but I might visit.
You might visit?
I think it's time for a bounce back.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been lost in Portland. Nobody really to set him up. He's got two great setup men in Luka and LeBron, plus motivation, plus the Lakers really need him to perform. So I'm feeling good about DeAndre. So good.
All right, Phoenix Suns are our next team in the Pacific Division. The reason that I'm excited for this team, which is a little difficult if I'm being honest, is I guess just the idea of a complete transformation, right? It is sort of a fresh start. I know Booker's their guy still. They gave him the huge extension. That's fine. But they have everything is new. New GM, new coach, and basically an entire new roster. 7 guys out, including Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. 6 new guys in, including Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Mark Williams, who the Lakers, you know, obviously did have for a hot second, but he's there in Phoenix now. They drafted Malawach with the number 10 pick. They claimed Jordan Goodwin, another Lakers player, off of the waiver wire. And they took some flyers here on one-year deals for Jared Butler and Nigel Hayes-Davis, who was like a EuroLeague MVP guy. So they're completely new. They're trying to get a little defense, I think, out there on the floor to work around their guy in Booker. This could be a very down year. There's no doubt. But at the same time, they just kept disappointing when they had all these like superstars they were paying crazy amounts of money to. So I guess I'm like excited, oddly excited for this team because there's super low expectations and maybe they do just lean into a different type of basketball around Book. But they're going to probably get lost in the loaded Western Conference. They'll probably be happy if they're challenging for a play-in spot because I think they're like probably pegged to win 30 to 35 games, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I have a little more faith in them. But what do you think about the Suns?
I think a big important part of this is just how their leaders lead. Devin Booker said going into this offseason, when he was asked, what do you got to work on? He basically said, everything. Did you see our team? And so will Devin Booker be that type of guy? And then Jalen Green to follow him. Will he have learned a lot from being in Houston, being beside Fred VanVleet, to being those type of leaders? And Dylan Brooks comes in as well. I mean,
He helped
he's
form
a
an
terror.
identity in Houston.
Absolutely.
There is no doubt. Love or hate Dylan Brooks. He helped.
Absolutely.
Can he do that again in Phoenix?
That is it is a legitimate question. I just want, from my perspective, to watch a team that wants to play hard. I mean, it was tough watching this team.
They were a tough watch.
You know what I sort of compare them to? Maybe. We'll see. It's like someone that was maybe like not cool in like elementary school or even, I guess, high school, if you want to use that. Like they were sort of like, yeah, just were picked on or really didn't like know who they were. And then you get that chance when you go to a new university or college, like you sort of get that fresh start because you get to leave all that behind. That's sort of what the Suns feel like to me. And maybe it works out in their favor. It's like, nobody knows you were a dweeb in high school at this new school. You get to like reinvent yourself.
That's exactly right. We all get to reinvent ourselves going from high school to college. Hopefully the same happens for the Suns. They got some new clothes, which I think is good. They got more youthful clothes and they got more athletic clothes and they got more defensive oriented clothes, which is all good for the regular season because I think that's where the Suns season will end.
Yes. No one's picking this team to maybe even make the playoffs, let alone do anything in the
I don't
playoffs.
think they'll make the play-in.
Yeah.
Even.
It's a reset year and it's trying like we said, like we just went over, like get an identity. Because our identity was we just had like a black cloud hanging over our heads the last couple of years.
Our team was literally named the Suns. It doesn't make sense.
Right. Get that sunshine back in your life. That's the goal. That's the optimism here. I love it.
It's the season of reinventing yourself, like no dunks, transitioning to a new era. It's the season. It's the season.
It's a perfect example. It's
Very
not like
good,
the
very good.
Phoenix Suns are changing their name or their jerseys. They're still the Phoenix Suns, just like No Dunks is still on. But there's something going to be new.
Yeah.
I guess what we're saying is get weird, Phoenix. Hey, JD,
Get weird.
play 5 centers.
Why not? Why not?
Play the mascot. The Gorilla's very athletic.
Very.
He's falling off, man.
Play a dog.
He has fallen.
Ain't
He
no
used to be
rules.
the premier
Yeah,
mascot.
he
of the
was
NBA.
back in like the for sure
gone.
80s
Build him
and
up.
90s. Yeah,
Is he
let's build
still
him back up.
rolling out on the motorcycle?
The Gorilla?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did he do that?
I've definitely seen him on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, I always think motorcycle mascot. I think of the Utah Jazz mascot.
Yeah,
He's
Jazz
a big
Bear
like
loves-
quad bike guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm sure the Gorilla's been on a motorcycle.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I heard if Mark Williams shoots a 3, the Gorilla's going to take off all his clothes.
This guy's horny, man. This guy's horny. The new era is going to be horny and weird. All right, Sacramento Kings. Trey, good luck.
Yeah, this is my greatest challenge. We split these 30 teams up between the 3 of us. So we each got 10, and this is by far my toughest in the Western Conference, probably in the entire league. They won 48 games as the Beam team a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Followed that up with a decent season, 46, and then 40 last year. They lost Jonas Valanciunas. They lost Jake LaRavia. They brought in Dennis Schroeder, and they're trying for Jonathan Kuminga. None of this is reasons for optimism yet. No. They're going to get a full season of Devin Carter.
I'm optimistic.
That's
Yeah, that's
optimistic.
fun.
Yeah.
Here's what's weird, though. They also drafted Nick Clifford.
Who I liked.
He's older than Devin Carter.
That's right.
And Devin Carter was like the oldest rookie in the league last year, maybe outside of Terrence Shannon Jr. Here's the crazy part. Both of those guys are 18 months older than Keegan Murray, who's going into his 4th season.
Yeah, it's wild.
What? Literally, the Kings are like, we need people who can help now, and hopefully these guys can help now. So for me, I am most optimistic they are not going to fire a coach this year.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think they will. Low expectations. Nobody's expecting them to make it to the playoffs.
Right.
Maybe Vivek is hoping for a play-in berth or something like that, but they went 27-24 under Doug Christie last year. Decent record. Over 500, better than I would have remembered for sure.
Yeah.
He was their 14th coach since 2000. So anytime the Kings don't fire a coach during the season, that's a good season.
Do you think because they had so much success with the Beam team and that idea, that like gimmick, if you want to call it, that really took off and everybody was loving, should they like come up with a new one? Like
Shoot something else off the top.
maybe, or we like that's sort of a visual thing. The Beam, I don't like Scream Team, something audio specific.
Okay.
The building screams
I like
after
this.
a win.
I like the scream
from the-
team. We get whichever player played the best gets to get on the mic at the end of the game
Yeah.
and yell as loud as they can.
Yeah.
And then the fans yell back.
Free idea.
Yep.
Try it.
Scream team. If that
What
doesn't
does
work, we'll
our
come up with other
Scream
stuff.
team think of the Scream team
Yeah.
for what used to be the Beam Team Kings? Let us know. Any thoughts on Sacramento?
I just want to know what they're doing. I mean, they have this very old side of things with Sabonis, Levine, and DeRozan, and Malik Monk is an interesting part. I think they may
Trying
move
to
on.
trade him by all accounts.
Yeah, I think they might. Now they've got guys that work hard, as you said. Devin Carter and his haircut, hairstyle, I guess I would call it, with that part thing he's got going on. With Keon Ellis, very fun guys. The second coming of Doug Christie out there on the floor. So it's fun to watch sometimes, but in the Western Conference, it's just not a recipe to win enough. This trend, they are trying to transition, I think. It seems like the roster, but I don't know if it's. I don't know. I just don't know when it's going to, number one, happen, and number two, how many wins this team should be pegged for. As you said, 27-24. I mean, above 500, I think would be a good season.
The line's set at 37.5. That's where they have them at BetMGM for win total. The Suns, by the way, were 30.5. So are the Kings going to be, 7 or 8 games better than Phoenix? That's sort of what they're
think
thinking.
so.
Yeah. All right. That is the Pacific Division. Let's go to the Southwest Division in the West. The Dallas Mavericks, Tass.
Everyone is overlooking the Dallas Mavericks, and I'm not just being optimistic because it's July 31st here. Everyone is overlooking them. We can start with Cooper Flag. Yeah, they got the Rookie of the Year. He's going to win Rookie of the Year. Moving down from him, you've got a bunch of really young, great, talented players. Like Derek Lively, everybody forgets about him. He's 21. He's a baby. And I think a great sign for them, if we're looking at the front court with Cooper Flag, who's a big dude, along with Derek Lively, I don't think Anthony Davis is going to have to play heavy minutes, which will save him for later on, because they have those two and Daniel Gafford and guys like Najee Marshall, who's going to play big and plays big. And let's move to the wing. I mean, that's a talented front court, super talented front court with PJ Washington on the wing, Klay Thompson, who's having a heck of an offseason. You love fishing, Trey. Did you see him out on a boat? He was fishing with Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, he took her fishing.
He took her fishing. Yeah, they loved it.
It's gonna be a great season for Klay
Yeah,
Thompson.
Exactly. Exactly. He said
He's settled in Dallas now, living his best life.
yeah, he is.
He's got his boat.
Apparently, he was trying to talk into reality that he was going to find a big fish this year. He's going to catch a big fish, talk into existence. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know. That's all I got to say about the wings. I mean, those are super good. And then you've got D'Angelo Russell as your starting point guard. I know people may say, oh, D'Angelo Russell. I know, but he was the starting point guard on a playoff team a mere 2 years ago. In 23-24, he was the guy for the Los Angeles Lakers starting. He won't have to do that when Kyrie Irving comes back. Kyrie will be out until 2026. There's no doubt about that. But they've got him as a playoff starter. So, combine those two guys. That is a decent point guard. You got a Nembhard lurking somewhere, a Ryan Nembhard. So I think this team is just being overlooked. Obviously, it's health. But there's just a bunch of talented dudes. And guys like Derek Lively, who I mentioned, they are going to be a part of a locker room environment that can really spur things on defensively. This team played super hard under Jason Kidd defensively, even with Anthony Davis out. They will work hard. So will they have enough offensive talent? I think with Anthony Davis and Cooper Flagg, they will. So this is a team that can be really good.
This is a team that I guarantee Tass will be taking the over when we eventually get to over-under win total.
What's that total to you? Have you seen it?
One more than the Kings, 38.5. You will be pounding that.
That's it. Over for sure.
Yep.
You gotta. Okay. Yeah, people are knocking that. Yeah, they're super good.
Good team.
Houston Rockets. They're a legit championship contender. That's pretty good. That's some optimism right there. I don't think any team did more to improve their roster or to improve their chances at a title in 2026 than the Rockets just did. And they were already a really good team. They added Kevin Durant and they didn't have to sacrifice much depth. That's huge. They bring in Clint Capella as obviously a sort of a big or backup big. Dorian Finney-Smith, great defensive wing guy. They re-signed Van Vliet to a really team-friendly contract. And then they showed some faith in Jabari Smith Jr., giving him that 5-year extension. And they were good. Udoka's an awesome coach. And they have guys that play hard. And now the one glaring hole was like, man, who the hell scores for them when things get tight and you need a bucket? They went and got one of the greatest to ever do it. So if he's healthy, this should be a lights-out team. Excited to see them. Pretty simple. That's the reason to be excited. They're probably in the class that they could win it all, I think. Now, I don't think I would they're not at the top. There are teams above them, but they're right there. Great offseason for them.
No question.
Done.
So you don't have them in the group below OKC?
No, that's what I meant, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I absolutely do. And like Durant, I mean, he's old. Like he's got to play and he's got to be healthy at the right time. But again, you talk about when we're just doing this in late July and in the summer, it's like it is all about like, well, look at the team on paper. Well, man, this looks awesome. This is exactly what they needed. I'm not saying they're going to win the title like it did with OKC, but remember, OKC, they went into the playoffs. I'm talking 2 years ago. They saw their limitations. Oh, we need a guy that can rebound and play big. Okay, let's get Hartenstein. Oh, we need a guy that can actually shut down the best player on the other team defensively. We already have Dort. Let's double it up. We got Caruso. They saw their limitations. They saw their holes. They plugged them in. They won a title. I think the Rockets are trying to replicate that. They saw what they needed. They saw the limitations, and they got those pieces, I think, to help their chances to do it. So good offseason, and Rockets fans got to be pretty excited going into next year.
Great offseason. They traded James Harden. They went into the tank, and they had various phases. They went through these second two phases pretty quickly. Phase 2 lasted one season of not winning a playoff series, so they beefed up to try and win a playoff series. I'm with you. I think this would probably be a Western Conference pyramid. If we're going Simmons mode here, at top is the Oklahoma City Thunder by themselves, and then definitely the Rockets are in the second tier with the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. For me, and then who knows? You're probably talking about the LA teams after that, but I think Houston, they should be optimistic this year. They've got to have one of the top 5 title odds, I'm assuming, going into the next season.
Yeah, and their win total for the Houston Rockets, 54.5.
Yeah, 55 sounds About right. It
Quite
could
a
be.
decent amount. Let's go to the Memphis Grizzlies, Trey.
I think it's easy to talk yourself into the Grizzlies being pretty good last season. They finished the year top 10 on both sides of the ball. I think they were 6th in offense, 10th in defense, according to Basketball Reference. At the All-Star break, they were 2nd in the Western Conference, 36-18. Great record. Now they fell off after the All-Star break. They ended up firing their coach with 9 games left in the season. They did finish 8th in the West, but only 2 games out of 3rd place because things were so tight in the Western Conference. As John Morant said, they had completely figured out the Oklahoma City Thunder before he got injured. But I am still optimistic for the Grizzlies because this should be Ja's first normal summer in years in 2023. He was going to be suspended coming into the year. Last season, 2024, he was coming off surgery. This year, smart maybe of the Grizzlies to fire Taylor Jenkins last season so they could install Thomas Isalo as the guy because Ja Morant was pretty good after Taylor Jenkins was fired. Look, it was only 7 games, but still 28 points per game, 6 assists per game, 48, 38, 75 shooting splits. All of that is above his season averages. Basically, Isalo said, go be Ja Morant out there. And that's what the Grizzlies need to get back to fine in the West status. I don't think they're necessarily a contender right now, but I foresee them still being competitive in the Western Conference. Reasons not for optimism. Jaren Jackson Jr. had surgery this summer immediately after he signed his extension. They don't think he's going to miss time, but still you would rather him be healthy and working out over the summer rather than recuperating from an injury. Desmond Bane is gone. Zach Edey is injured already. They didn't play their rookie Cedric Coward, who is an older guy. They didn't play him in Summer League because he's dealing with recovery from surgery. So maybe I'm hurting my optimism here, but I still think the Grizzlies can be good when they have their guys on the court. It's going to look different, but I think they did a good job bringing in KCP, Ty Jerome to kind of mitigate the loss of shooting from Kennard leaving, from Desmond Bane leaving. So I think the Grizzlies are probably a middle of the pack team in the Western Conference, but John Morant is going to be more fun to watch this season than he was last season.
He's already been pretty fun in the offseason here. All these dunk videos of him, I believe in China, I think are the ones I've seen. He's overseas somewhere selling his new shoe, and holy crap, some of the dunks he was throwing down where you're like, oh my God, dude, just go in the dunk contest already. But then there was one scare to go back to all these guys that are injured. You see the one where he went to go dunk over a guy? He slips in the lane.
Yes.
And like slides, like crashes into the guy, and it looks scary for a second. He seemed okay. The guy seemed okay, but it's like, they must be like, okay,
please don't.
please no more. You got enough cool dunks from the offseason, the Grizzlies front office. Weird. Don't get injured, man, trying to dunk over a guy. But
I guess that's why he said, I'm not dunking anymore, because he gets injured. But yeah, then he just starts dunking again. That's why I'm optimistic, is that you might get a full-on Ja Morant year.
Yeah.
Like, the ball is going to be given to him. That's what Thomas Isalo did, as you said. Yeah, the worrisome part, sorry to go optimism and negative in the same sentence, but yeah, the Jaren Jackson Jr. thing, it's a turf toe, knocks you out for 3 months. It's kind of weird that he won't be even going through a full-on training camp. It doesn't seem like, if I'm reading the timeline correctly, like he's going to come back in October. Yeah, it's basically early October. If he's back, that's when he'll be reevaluated. So that stinks. I mean, that is a guy that you rely on a lot. Seems like this on paper, this team could be good if you have those two guys going. Though.
And you guys talking it out, I'm like, could Ja Morant lead the league in scoring next year? That's in play. I mean, he's not the greatest 3-point shooter. It sort of knocks his like percentages down a little bit, or his per game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he could be close. You said he was averaging 28, 29. I mean, yeah, okay. Probably not. But
yeah, now I think no. Shea averaged 33 a game last year.
But maybe he's like, okay, I got that. Probably not.
That's a lot of points.
Pelicans, Tass.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Talk to us.
Here's the optimistic part. The training staff will have jobs for this entire season. They can't let go of those guys.
Security.
Yeah. There's a lot of injuries. It's unfortunate, but it's hard to ignore the guy that they just drafted, the guy that they just traded up to draft in Derek Queen. Injury. He's going to miss training camp essentially already. DeJounte Murray out with an Achilles. He'll be back at some point late this season. So, unfortunately, you got to start with that. Now, with Murray out, you're going to need Jordan Poole to be awesome. Jordan Poole's going to have... He's going to have the ball. He's going to have a chance here. Now, optimism...
Could Jordan Poole lead the league in scoring?
Yes.
Remember we were doing that when he went to Washington?
He could have done it. He could have done it.
There's a chance here. If other guys are out, because you never know, Zam may not play. But here's the optimistic thing about Jordan Poole. They went and got Kevon Looney, his Golden State Warriors bud. So he's there essentially to be his buddy. Smart move there by Weaver and Dumars to do that. Yeah. Now, they're just fun if they are playing. Again, unfortunately, that's the thing. If Zion Williamson is playing its center as he did, this is fun. Him playing center with Trey Murphy injured, unfortunately. Herb Jones gets injured, unfortunately. But maybe those guys come back. Those two with a Sadiq Bey that they got. I don't know why they got him. But to be around Zion at the center spot, it's fun when you look at it that way. And they do have a bunch of depth. That's the weird part about this team. They are deep. But just so many of those guys just don't play, So they have guys like Eve C and Jeremiah Fears, who they got in the draft. I love a Jordan Hawkins off the bench. They have lots of good guys, but that's where we are. That's where we are with this Pelicans team. Are they going to play? I named a bunch of guys. They've got a good unit when they are playing.
Yeah, and
that's the
Trey
thing.
Murphy III is one of the best players
Awesome.
at his position in the league when he's healthy, but obviously gets banged up. He averaged 21 per game last year. But then missed 30 odd games because that generally is what he does. So, this is a tough one. I'm glad I didn't get the Pelicans in this exercise because that's difficult to convince yourself to be optimistic heading into this year at least.
Yeah, it was easier last year with Zion. That was the Zion year. It felt like he was he had redesigned himself. To some degree. It didn't happen. Yeah, he played 30 games last year. So what will we see this year? That's the question. But if these guys are hurt, I think they could run out another unit of coaches. They've got so many former player coaches. I didn't realize that. Corey Brewer can run out there. Jody Meeks is on this bench. Greg Monroe is a player development coach.
Oh, he's a coach already, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They got a Jaron Collins. They got Willie Green used to play.
It's a good team.
It's a full team of actually every position.
Yeah, they're stacked. This team is stacked.
This team is stacked at the assistant coaching position. All right, I got the Spurs. Let's wrap up the Western Conference here. We got a whole conference still to do.
What?
A true sicko might say the reason for Spurs optimism is them upgrading their front court veterans with Luke Cornett and Kelly Olynyk. But even I am not that much of a sicko. That's just a joke. No, the reason is Wu-Tang Wemby. Come on. He's back. He's medically cleared to return to hoops after recovering from the DVT in the right shoulder there. He was awesome before the injury. Guy averaged 24, 11, and 4 with nearly 4 blocks per game and a steal. Made his first All-Star game. Would have won Defensive Player of the Year. Would have likely made an All-NBA team or at least been in the mix, but got knocked out of there because of games played reasons. He's back. And now you've got De'Aaron Fox to start the season alongside him. He should be motivated, by the way, Fox. He's heading into the last year of his 5-year, $163 million deal. He only played 17 games for San Antonio last year before he got shut down with an injury. He had a finger injury, I believe. Was it a thumb? I think he had thumb surgery. And he had it all season. It was like a lingering injury, and then he finally got it checked out and taken care of. So a healthy Fox. He's got competition there at the guard positions with obviously Castle and Harper now as their draft pick. So people are excited. People think a lot of people will be picking the Spurs to be one of those teams in the lower end of the Western Conference to make the jump up into playoffs / play-in contention. And I believe it too. If Wemby is out there for 70 to 80 games, absolutely. Guy's the real deal. And he was just at the Shaolin Temple all summer.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Comrade Wemby has for us in this next season. De'Aaron Fox is extension eligible. And when they did the trade, I was guaranteed they're going to pay him. And then they jumped up to number 2.
Yeah.
In the draft and drafted a guy who's a ball handler in Dylan Harper. Yeah. So I still think the Spurs are going to pay De'Aaron Fox, but I don't know if he's a long-term guy next to Wemby because, like I said, when the trade happened, he was not my ideal fit for a guy next to Wemby, but he was the guy who was available and it would have given him a chance to make a play-in push last season. So I think that's going to be interesting to see their long-term team-building view of things with Fox because it's kind of makes sense for him to be good for the team and also to be good for himself. So maybe he can start looking at another place.
Right.
Who knows?
43.5 is the win total for the Spurs, according to BetMGM. So that I think even says they have them sort of in that play in contention because it's above a lot of these other sort of teams that we talked about. Oh, yeah. The Suns, the Kings, the Pelicans, obviously the Jazz. So they have them at least a tier up. Even the Grizzlies were only 40.5. So we'll see what we get from San Antonio, but obviously people are pretty pumped that Wemby will be back. Let's move to the East. Trey, you start us off here once again. Boston Celtics.
Sneaky tough one here.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics are going to have their worst season since 2020. They went 36-36. You look at their centers, they've got Nemish Keita and Luka Garza. Those are their centers. They're going to be losing their entire center rotation from last season, with Porzingis going to Atlanta, Cornette going to the Spurs, and Horford likely Warriors. Who knows where he ends up. So there's a chance the Celtics could get their first lottery pick since Aaron Nesmith. I think there is even a chance that they could get their first top 10 pick since Jason Tatum way back when. That would require like one injury to Jaylen Brown, and then you're looking at Derek White as the number one guy. But I am kind of excited and optimistic to see what this Celtics team looks like with everybody moving up 1 to 3 slots in the pecking order. Like Jaylen Brown, number one option. Let's see what you got. Probably something you've wanted to try out for your entire career. Derek White moves up in the pecking order. Peyton Pritchard, awesome 6th man of the year season. Last year, he's got even more responsibility. If they keep Anthony Simons, this will be the first time he's really playing games that his team is trying to win since he was, early in his career with Damian Lillard. I'm even excited to see if Baylor Shireman can do anything playing in the NBA, not just a summer league sort of dude. So I will say I'm optimistic. I don't think that the Celtics are going to finish under 500 for the first time since 2014-15.
You don't think
I
so?
think they will still be 500 or better.
I think you're right. I'm would be almost terrified if I'm the rest of the league of Joe Mazzulla coaching a team of basically underdogs at this point, or a team that no one thinks is going to be all that good because of the Jason Tatum injury. He loves that stuff.
He loves it.
Think of the quotes he's going to be pulling out from the town, of course. But I mean, he's going to have a lot of town quotes about rallying, they don't believe in us type of thing. And you still have talented guys. Like Jaylen Brown could have a monster year. But on the other side of my mouth, you could be maybe you'll see the limitations of Jaylen Brown not beside Tatum. I'm fascinated to see it.
Sure.
Maybe not. But
Yeah.
I'm with you. They're not going to be bottom of the barrel here by any means. They're still good.
They're still very good. I do want to see Derek White, Peyton Pritchard bumped up a little bit and see what they can perform along with Jaylen Brown, who hopefully is good physically. That was a little bit worrisome after the way he played in the playoffs and all that.
Yeah.
The knee talk. And when Tatum went out, he had to step up. He did, and he didn't at times. So I do want to see Jaylen Brown in the one spot. I'm looking forward to that.
Brooklyn Nets, Tass.
Oh baby, the Brooklyn Nets. Also, just like the Utah Jazz, projected to be the 15th best team in the Eastern Conference. We're going all the way to the bottom. Here's what's optimistic about the Brooklyn Nets. The vets can carry this team, and those vets that I'm speaking of are Terrence Mann, who can, be bumped up into a number one role. This is your chance, Terrence Mann. It's a contract year for him. He's got a long-term contract, but it's kind of like a contract year for him. You're back, baby. Do your thing. Michael Porter Jr. and Nick Claxton. Those 3 guys. This is up to them. I mean, they can be, those are their top 3. It's up to you how good you can be. Michael Porter Jr. probably, like you just said, Trey, about Jaylen Brown wanting to take a step up as a number one guy. Michael Porter Jr., I'm sure, wanted to as well. Here he goes. You can shoot all you want. Nick Claxton, you got to step up in that role. Terrence Mann, you got to step up in that role. It's also optimistic if you're an international fan of this team. They got lots of international players. Nolan Traore, that they just drafted, a 19-year-old Frenchman. Ben Saraf from Israel, a 19-year-old. Igor Djomin, who repronounced his name. He's got the umlaut on the O. So that's cool. He's 19. So a bunch of young international players. And you can keep on going with the youngs on that team, but they got a lot of guys you think are sort of young, but they're not. Like a Drew Timme, a Jalen Wilson. They're almost 25 years old.
I couldn't believe when you called Terrence Mann a vet. I'm like, how old is he? But 30? He's 28.
Okay.
Yeah, knocking on 29. In my head, I thought he was 24.
Yeah, they got old guys that you don't think are that old. But that's what their team is. I basically named them. You can try and hope Noah Clowney and Keon Johnson are really good. They will have their roles, but this team's going to be bad.
Yeah, you said maybe the bottom of the Eastern Conference. Do you think they'll be worse than the Washington Wizards?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I mean, their lines are basically similar. Nets at 21.5, Wizards at 20.5. So that's where BetMGM has them. Yeah. So they have the Wizards below them right now.
No respect
But that'll be
for the
maybe a
Washington
race
Wizards.
there at the bottom.
Yeah, I
Any
think,
thoughts on the Nets, TK?
I'm optimistic that they'll have the best odds at the number one draft pick. They'll be one of the 3 worst
One of
teams
the
in the
3
league.
worst.
I think they're definitely worse than the Wizards, and I think the entire point of this Nets season is to have great lottery odds, because next season They don't have their pick. They lose it in a swap to the Houston Rockets. They did the deal with Mikal Bridges before last year so that they could have a chance at a high draft pick in the 25 draft. Didn't happen lottery-wise, so they really need 26 to work out, which means they need to stink. They need to be the worst team in the Eastern Conference, more so even than the Wizards do, I think, at this point. So I'm optimistic, though, that they will be able to pull that off. If their main guys are Terrence Mann and Michael Porter Jr., I would say it is a lock.
Yeah. I also can't wait for, when will it be? I guess late January. Let's call it late January. We're going to have a debate on no dunks. I'm calling my shot now of who's more deserving of an all-star selection, Michael Porter Jr. or Brandon Ingram? I can't wait to have that debate.
Interesting.
Yes, I can't wait. Probably on Raptors should be better than the Nets, but you get my point here. There'll be some numbers, I think, from both these guys in a weekend, maybe Eastern Conference. Though then again, I don't even know how we're doing the All-Star game next year. Are we doing World versus USA? So maybe that completely changes everything. But anyway, Michael Porter Jr. should put up some numbers there in Brooklyn. It's going to be a bad team. I'm with you guys. The Knicks, I've got them. I got two reasons. One, Knicks optimism around Mike Brown and some ball movement on this team. Last season, Brunson led the NBA in on-ball percentage, and he just shouldered an crazy amount of workload on the offensive end. He was amazing, but the offense became pretty predictable because it was, hey, Jalen Brunson, go to work, and what can you do? Shu had a crazy note that the Knicks have ranked in the bottom 7 in ball movement in each of the last 5 seasons. That lined up with Tibbs, and that's sort of Tibbs' ball. So now Brown comes in here, and at least when he was with Sacramento, I know it's completely different personnel, but they were one of the best teams in the league when it came to ball movement. And they were like one of the best offensive teams we'd ever seen under Brown that one full season. So I think he's going to like unlock some things here. And the other reason for optimism, if you're a Knicks fan, is just like, I'm sorry, but it's true. It's like, look at the Eastern Conference. Like, it's there for a few of these teams to take because the Tatum injury to the Celtics, the Halliburton injury to the Pacers, obviously the Damian Lillard situation, he's out of Milwaukee now, sort of like probably knocks them down even a peg. It's the Knicks, it's the Cavs, and then maybe you're talking yourself into a Magic team or something like that, but like it's there. Like you should be in the conference finals, knocking on the door of a final. So you've got your squad, you added Yabusele, you added Jordan Clarkson, that was good work. And here you go with a new coach to see what they can get maybe a little more defensively, and then what they can change things on the offensive end and maybe lighten the offensive load of Brunson and the minutes of some of these guys to play the long game more. So a lot of optimism.
I think it is incumbent on Brunson to want to be a ball mover because he hasn't really showed that throughout his career. And I don't necessarily know if that's the style he plays. The Tibbs style is perfect for him. ISO ball, pound it, get the best shot, most likely for me, maybe for a teammate. I think Towns can fit into a ball movement system pretty easily. He's a really good passer, good distributor from the high post, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see some Sabonis-like actions with him there, with Mike Brown bringing it over. I heard Zach Lowe saying on his podcast, he's like, if Mike Brown is the sum of all of his coaching jobs, this will be perfect for the New York Knicks. He learned how to manage egos with LeBron James when he was a defensive coach with the Cavs. He had like 4 games with the Lakers. So you know how it doesn't go good.
Yeah.
And then, an offensive coach after his time in Golden State and Sacramento. It's a little bit like Dewey Cox thinks about his entire life before he takes the stage every single night. I don't know if that's actually what's going to happen for Mike Brown, but I guess it was time for the Knicks to shake things up. I don't know if I totally agree with that, but whatever. They're going to be at the very least a good team, and I think a lot of people will favor them to make the finals out of the Eastern Conference ahead of the Cavs, just because we've seen the Cavs come up short in the playoffs a couple of seasons, whereas the Knicks generally outperform expectations come the postseason.
Yeah, their line is, I was going to say, shockingly low, in my opinion. It's only 52.5. They were a 51-win team last season. So it's right around the same vicinity there. Again, with the lessened Eastern Conference. I took the Knicks, I remember last year. I took the over, and it was even higher, I guess, last year because that was the big, Towns is in here, and obviously got the Bridges part of it all. But we'll see. They're going to be a good team. They should be a very good team in the Eastern Conference, and it'll only matter once we get to the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. So the projection, it seems low. They won 51 games last year. It seems like they're going to be way better than that. It does. Is it as low as a ranking for Dewey Cox? I like the Dewey Cox reference there. What do you think Dewey Cox is on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, it's got a good reputation.
It does.
I bet it's like 75 critics, 85 audience.
It's 74. I mean, you're bang on. I don't have both ready. But anyway.
It's got a 74 at the top, though. That's good.
Yeah,
way
that's
better
great.
than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild Card's pretty funny.
Anyway.
They didn't make like a music biopic for a decade after that came out because everybody's like, oh, this is what every biopic is. They're stupid.
That's great. I haven't seen it, so I'm going to watch it. I'm also going to watch this next team. I am interested to see Jalen Brunson off the ball a little bit. Now, Tom Thibodeau got that out of him a little bit in the postseason. He also had to take fewer shots this last season. He said, all right,
Yeah.
I know. Here comes Carl. I'm gonna do other things, but yeah, can they be a Golden State Warriors? He's not Steph. He's not going to be running off the ball like that.
No.
But yeah, can they do that? And can Mike Brown say, like Steve Kerr did? I mean, we're going to have 2 units out there. No more of this running Mikal Bridges into the ground, as you just said, as you just put out that Mikal Bridges is the modern day Forrest Gump in the NBA. Like the guy just keeps running. Like there's too many minutes for him and Josh Hart and OG and everybody. So will Mike Brown be able to run 2 units out there? I think so. Everybody has to buy in. And Jalen Brunson, again, going back to like him running off the ball, he did show signs of growth last year to some degree where he didn't have to shoot as much. After being an MVP candidate, he took that off his plate. So we will see what Mike Brown can do with this team.
Philadelphia 76ers, Trey.
It can't be as bad as last year,
That's the motto.
right?
Right?
Right. They had 2 guys play more than 60 games last season, the Philadelphia 76ers did. Can you guess either of them?
60, huh?
60 games.
60.
Yeah. Everybody else on their team missed at least 22 games.
Yeah, Buscelli?
Yeah. He's gone.
He's
Out of there.
Is this a...
It's not Ricky Council.
It's Ricky Council. Wow. Also not signed yet by the 76ers.
Wow.
No, yeah. he's-
And look, is Joel Embiid recovering from a surgery right now? Yeah. Is Paul George recovering from a surgery right now? Yeah, he is as well. But the best time to be a 76ers fan is during the offseason because they're not missing any games right now.
Right.
VJ Edgecombe looked good.
He did.
He looked really good in
liked
both
it.
summer leagues.
Yes.
Looks like a super athlete.
Yeah.
At least will be one of the best athletes on the court. Every time he's on the court, they're going to get Jared McCain back after a great 23 games last season. I'm still a Tyrese Maxey fan, even though the responsibilities asked of him last year were definitely too much to be the number 1 guy. But those 3 little guards are all fun. I'm not super optimistic, man. I'm like a 4 of 10 here. But I love the young guys on the 76ers, the old guys. Hey, what if they're all healthy come playoff time? Imagine that. Have anybody ever said that about the 76ers? That's the only thing you can ever say about this team. But right now, I like their guards.
Okay. Anything to add to that, Tass? 43.5 is their win total. So pretty low.
It's low, but it seems pretty accurate. I mean, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Tyrese Maxey as the number 1 guy, I guess. If the other guys are hurt, he started last year and, wasn't great in that role. Because he shot a lot. And anyway, besides that,
They were like, "Hey man, can you be Allen Iverson?" He's like, "I'll give it a go." And he did a decent impersonation for a good stretch, but then it just catches up to you. And then obviously the game plan also catches up to you. It's like, oh, just take him out. Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing to be said other than, do you sit Joel Embiid for 4 months here and play him in February and see
the
go into
Kawhi
the
strategy?
Yeah. Nothing else is working.
Nothing else is working.
Honestly, do it.
Yeah, why not?
Did anybody read the ESPN profile of Joel Embiid?
I did.
Hard not to root for this guy.
Yes.
After the way things have gone for him and throughout his career.
He is really due for a nice redemption arc, right? If I'm with you on that, and I'm not even a huge Embiid fan, and obviously Raptors obviously battles with him and got the best of him, and Marcus all shut his ass down, all that, and he's always sick, and he had the runs and the poops and stuff like that. But I'm even at the point. I sort of would love to see. It'd be cool to see an Embiid bounce back here. He's still got a little left in the tank, but I felt good for him in that article after reading it, or rooting for him. But there's a little sadness to it as well. A lot.
Big time. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, so hold on. What was the ESPN article mainly about? Injuries or the bowel movements? Or
No,
what?
it wasn't about the bowel
okay.
movements.
Just
It was
the-
I'd say
injuries?
the only thing he didn't touch on was the bowel movements.
Oh, so you touched on everything
Pretty
from
much everything else, yeah.
Yeah.
from
I mean,
Pre-career,
from pre-career, making up stories about his childhood just because he was bored to tell people and troll people early on in his career, the way he had differing opinions on his rehab from injuries and the different, trainers that they brought in. I mean, I don't think Embiid comes off perfectly in this profile either, because there are definitely times where he's like, yeah, I didn't think rehab was working, so I stopped going. And you're like, well, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. Problems on both sides for sure, but at the very least, you're like, man, this guy has gone through a lot just speaking about his body and having people come at him throughout his 10 years that we've really known about him. So he was very vulnerable and, I mean, super open with the reporter at ESPN. So definitely worth a read if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, and like they even talk about it in the article, is like he's usually not like this with any sort of media anymore. He's really like shut that out, doesn't trust people easily, feels like he's been backstabbed and stuff like that. So yeah, go recommend reading it. The Toronto Raptors test. Look at this. You got the Raptors here. Sell me, baby.
They have many good basketball players. That's it. They're going to be good. Will they be good? Will they play? They have so many all-stars. They have Scotty Barnes.
So many all-stars.
Scotty Barnes and
He was an
Brandon
all-star.
Ingram.
He was also a one-time all-star.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes is not even in his prime. Brandon Ingram, he can drop 100 on you. He literally could. Those are two ridiculously great offensive players to go along with RJ Barrett, who had a really good season, and Emmanuel Quickly. If we will see him play again, that's the worrisome part. Obviously, Quickly's healthy; he should be playing. But that's the scary part. I say it very slowly coming out of my mouth. Not all that excited to say they have many good basketball players, because they do. I just mentioned 4 really good ones. But will they play? It's unfortunate, but that's what it comes down to. Emmanuel Quickly, even like there is a lot of pressure on him at sort of being the lead ball guard. First game last year, he got injured. It was Darius Garland who went under him, and he basically didn't play for the calendar year of 2024. He didn't play it. It was 2024 was shot for him. So if Quickly can't play, you're getting Jamal Shed, who's fun. Elijah Martin probably some of that.
Yeah,
so
all those defensive dogs we got.
They did it great in summer league. They fought. They played hard defensively, but it's up to Barnes and Ingram and the chemistry up top. So I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend that they're gonna win 45 games even right now. I could on a good day, a good August day. Think that it's a summer thing. Will they play is the question. That's it. I mean, here's something else to be optimistic about. They've got the best names in the NBA. Hands down, Jacoby Walter, Sandro Mamukelashvili. What a name. Chucky Hepburn. No relation to Audrey. Jameson Battle. Colin L. Murray Boyles. AJIM the Lawson. Jamal Shed. Jonathan Mobo. Garrett Temple. Grady Dick. Ochai Abaji. David the Body Roddy. Ulrich Shamshay. Another two-way guy.
Damn. Those are some good
They're
names.
stacked. Names-wise, they are stacked. That's it. I mean, it's one of those years. It's prove it. Play basketball.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of these guys are paid handsomely, so you definitely want them to play basketball for sure at the positions. Obviously, keeping Pirtle open some eyes, but they have him as their sort of like rock, I guess, at the center. He's nothing flashy, but he is a solid player. It makes sense. They've added all these defensive-minded guys to sort of like come in behind them. Hopefully the offensive talent in Ingram and Barnes and Quickly and RJ still. Their line is 34.5. So, I mean, you saying 45 is like, yeah, that would be an incredible year.
That's high, yeah. According
to obviously the odds makers. But is it a bounce back year for the Toronto Raptors? That's where we're at, because it's been some down years here. We'll see. I had no faith in the Raptors last offseason heading into that year. I have a little bit more now. And I do, like I jokingly said, like the Brandon Ingram. He is a completely forgotten player in this league because he didn't play at all when he got traded to them. And he was in sort of the, New Orleans there, and they had all their issues. He is really good, and it'd be really cool to remind people of how much of a bucket he is. And if he can slot beside Barnes, they can make that work. So I have more optimism than I did last year, but 40 wins would be a huge, huge successful season in my eyes.
But with all that talent, it shouldn't be crazy.
A lot of third and fourth best players is their whole team.
Right.
Yeah. The hope was Scotty was going to be a number 2 at the worst. When he won Rookie of the Year, he was growing.
Scotty Barnes is good and is still getting better. And I'm not saying like, he can't be a winning player on a good team. No, by no means. But I think Trey's right a little bit. Some of these guys, the Quickleys and the Barretts and the Ingram is the TBD. Like you say they're really great players, but they on most teams will be the third, fourth player. That's just the truth. And then
Scotty,
I also don't know what this team is. I don't know what the identity of this team is. And they're leaning into these defensive-minded guys. That's fine, but then they need to score. You do need to score in this league.
Score.
We'll see what Ingram can do.
Central Division. I'm going to go here, and we're actually flipping two teams alphabetical-wise because I want Trey to have the Bulls. So I'll start with the Cleveland Cavaliers. A lot of optimism. Similar to the Knicks, it's the Eastern Conference is the Cavs to lose. They were really good last year. They come in, with a similar squad here. They added Lonzo Ball and Larry Nance Jr. They sort of are trying to shore up their defense. I saw Schumann write about the Cavs needing to go from a top 10 defense to a top 5 defense to be considered a real legit title contender. So I'm just excited to see how they deal with the pressure now that everybody thinks that they're just going to maybe walk to the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe battle a Knicks team or a Magic team or something like that and go to a finals. But the truth is no one is going to care if the Cavs rip off another 15-0 start to start the season. That'd be cool, but no one will care because it's all going to be one of these teams show us come playoff time. So don't be amazing in October, November. Don't be lights out there. Be amazing come March, April, May, and then into hopefully June for these Cavs fans. But I'm excited. They're still damn good. And if Evan Mobley levels up, which speaks to, we talked about, is Donovan Mitchell maybe almost, is that guy a better 2? Could Mobley blossom into the 1? Or do they just go hand in hand, 1A, 1B? They're going to be good. They're going to win a lot of games, but it will just be playoff time.
Yep.
That's it. So where we are with this team. It wasn't a lot different than when Mitchell was with the Utah Jazz for a couple of years, and we were like, they're going to be a great regular season team. Show us come playoff time. Same thing with Mitchell here on the Cavs.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Last year, even, they started the season, they won their first 15 basketball games. The Utah Jazz were ripping off 18, 19, 20-game win streaks regularly during the Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert era, and once it got 3 or 4 years in with the Jazz, we were kind of great, you're going to win 55 to 60 games in the Western Conference, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs. That's going to be the Cavs this year. They could win their first 25 games to start this season, and everybody's going to be all right, let's see what you do in the playoffs. You got to win more than one series.
But, they got to have a super high, I would assume, over under win total. It is
60.5?
55.5.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Maybe you feel confident about that one.
Yeah, it's funny because we mentioned the injuries to Boston and Indiana. This Cavs team should be a team that wins the East again. They should be.
Yeah.
They should be that team. It's all about the playoffs and what Garland and Mobley can do. Because those were the guys who were banged up, but couldn't step up against the Pacers.
Chicago Bulls, Trey Kirby.
Here's what I told everybody at Summer League. The Bulls have 2 Giannis's. They've got the American Giannis and Matas Buzelis, because I remember you guys telling me some kind of story of his stats and getting drafted in the teens, and the stats he was putting up. The only other guy who had those kind of things in his first 2 years was Giannis Antetokounmpo. So he's the American Giannis, also very skinny. They also drafted the French Giannis and Noah Sengay.
Wow.
So, the best team in the division has 1 Giannis. The Bulls have 2. Realistically, though, I'm just hoping for a little bit of a step from Matas Buzelis going into his second season. Year 3 should be the leap, but post All-Star last year, which kind of lines up to when Zach LaVine was traded to the Sacramento Kings, and Buzelis got a lot more time. He started playing a bunch, 27 games, 27 minutes per game, and in those minutes, 13 points per game, 5 rebounds, a couple assists, and 1 block per game while shooting 47 from the field, 36 from 3. I would like to see some more self-creation from Matas Buzelis, getting to the basket with the ball in his hands, because he does seem to have some savvy as a scorer, good athleticism, really good length. He's got to make his 3-pointers like he did last season. There was that game where he was 4 for 4 from 3 in one game, went 10 of 10 from the field. Next game, 0 for 4 from 3. He found his way to 36% by being a little bit inconsistent. So the consistency would be huge, but I love that this guy is buddies with Caleb Williams, the quarterback from the Bears. He was a Chicago guy, so he likes being a Bull. I think that's fun to watch. They're going to stink, this team, but I think they'll be fun to watch again.
Sure.
That's how they were last year, at least in the second half of the year, playing wicked fast and running up and down the court, chucking threes and losing. But Buzelis doing dunks, blocking shots, very cool. I don't know if he'll turn into Giannis Antetokounmpo, but I would be happy if he turns into Andrei Kirilenko. And I think that's more reasonable.
Oh, that would be great. Loved him. I love it. Let's keep moving with some pace here, Tess. Detroit Pistons, you're up next.
Well, obviously, they had a great year. Playing the New York Knicks, having some freaking playoff games in Detroit. That's fantastic. But besides that, I think they're ready for their second star. I think they are the Houston Rockets East in that they can make a trade if a superstar becomes available to put around Cade Cunningham because they've got lots of depth. They're kind of like the Houston Rockets, and they have just a lot of good players that they could package together. They also, have the contracts, really great contracts. Besides Cade on their team, getting the max, deservedly so. Their next big contract is Tobias Harris, and that comes off the books this coming year. And then you got a bunch of guys you can package together, as I mentioned. Jaden Ivey coming back. Hopefully he's great. Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson, really is a Rockets East.
Yeah.
Ron Holland, Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson they just signed, Isaiah Stewart, plus that Tobias Harris deal. That's a good number. That Tobias Harris number that you can package in. I think it's $24 million. So the numbers make sense. The talent makes sense. Cade Cunningham makes sense as your lead guard. He showed he's able to do that. So it's exciting times, I think, roster-wise and just basketball-wise in that arena. But they do need a second guy to take some of that burden off of Cade Cunningham because they went and got the shooter in Duncan Robinson, but they need a ball handler. They need one more. And now with Dennis Schroeder gone, that guy did a lot in the postseason handling the ball. So that was important to them. So they need another one of those.
What will be considered a good season for the Detroit Pistons?
Top 4.
Top 4. Yeah, or maybe even just a playoff win because I guess they made it last year, 44 wins, lose to the Knicks. Hell of a series. I mean, every game felt like super close.
Super close.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, so top 4 or to win, obviously, a first-round series, no matter where they're ranked, that probably is the goal. Get back in and obviously continue to build off this and just get reps for Cade and all these young guys and Asar Thompson, Ron Holland second, all these guys to get more opportunity.
I think it's a big season for Ivy. He needs to be their second ball handler.
Yeah.
He went out with an injury, so he didn't really get to stay on the court with Cade Cunningham as he had a better season. The year prior was Cade Cunningham who went down with an injury, so they haven't gotten their 2 lead ball handlers a lot of court time together. So him staying healthy and looking good, I think would be big time for Detroit.
Yeah, and I think it's a good story for Jaden Ivey because it looked like it could be a bad injury. Cole Anthony undercut him. It looked like it could be gruesome, but he'll be back. I think he'll be entirely healthy, but we haven't seen him in a while. We haven't seen him since the Cosmopolitan pool in Las Vegas that we saw him in. He was hanging out in the pool, just chilling. Last NBA player we saw in a pool, I think. And that was
That's right.
years ago.
That's right.
I got the Indiana Pacers. I am excited to see the most improved player race between Andrew Nembhard and Benedict Mathurin. 2 guys on the same team. They have some of the best odds, according to the odds makers. I think it's Denny Avdia is the favorite for MIP, and then Nembhard right there with Avdia, plus 900, and then it's like Mathurin next on the list at plus 1,600. But with Halliburton's injury, both these guys are going to take on a much larger role. They're going to be expected to. And I think they both can, and I'm excited to see them try. Nembhard, man, he should really increase his scoring and his playmaking. Will we just see playoff Nembhard in the regular season in terms of his stats? I think a realistic goal for Nembhard in a regular season, hey, man, be Derek White. Turn into Derek White when we're looking at stats and obviously contributions and really do what you have done in postseasons for the last 2 runs for Indiana. He's a guy, though, is now, people love him. I love him, and he's a Canadian. To boot. But now he's getting paid $20 million a year, right? So he's now under contract. So now there's just a lot more to expect from a player like that. So you got to back it up. Mathurin, on the other hand, playing for this, obviously sort of extension, and he's going to get more opportunity. So those 2 guys, I'm excited. This is going to be I don't know where to put the Pacers with the Halliburton injury. I don't know where to slot them in the Eastern Conference. I don't think they're terrible. I think they have so many good guys still. And like we just talked about, some of these guards to pick up the slack. I don't see a conference finals run in them without Halliburton, but could they still be a pesky team to play in the regular season? Yeah, for sure. With Siakam as your leader. So those guys battling for MIP. I think they'll be in the race. At least one of them will be.
Yeah, probably Jay Huff will be in the race as well.
He looks good too.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got these crazy reverse dunks that he's doing over in Spain or something like that. We're only seeing Spain pickup highlights for Jay Huff, which odd, but they exist out there. They lost 2 starters. I think the Pacers are probably a play-in team. I think that'd be good for them this year. We'll see what Siakam can do as the undisputed number 1 guy. When he was the number 1 guy in Toronto, they were like a play-in team.
Yeah. Milwaukee Bucks, Trey.
They got Giannis. He's still there. Simple. 49-win pace when he played last season. Damian Lillard was still around then, but 7 straight seasons, Giannis has finished in the top 4 in MVP voting, and during those 7 seasons, 46 wins minimum for the Milwaukee Bucks. We got a weak Eastern Conference. They brought in Miles Turner, so at the very least, their defense, I think, will be pretty solid, but they are in the mix for the worst guard rotation in the league. We're talking about Kevin Porter Jr., Cole Anthony, and Ryan Rollins at the 1, Gary Trent Jr., AJ Green, and Gary Harris at the 2. That is 0 real starters in the perimeter for the Milwaukee Bucks, but I still think it's reasonable that they make a run at the top 6 in the Eastern Conference, and I think, depending on how injuries go for some of the teams ahead of them, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that they are a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. Giannis is that good. I love watching the guy play, and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Yeah. Everybody writing him off this season. He didn't write back.
Hey, he could have a sneaky, really strong narrative to another MVP win. If, what you're saying, if he carries the Bucks with this sort of, hodgepodge of a team. Now, they got Turner, so that helps, but, if he takes them to a number that's whoa, they got to 55 wins in Milwaukee, but, he's always in play for MVP as it is, but maybe it really helps his case. I like that. It's a good reason to be optimistic. He's still there.
He's still there.
He has not been asked to be traded, and they're trying everything they can do to still put some talent around him. Again, the Turner part, the big part.
Yeah. You mentioned the guards. It's hilarious when you go through it. And that Vasa Micic also left. He went and played in Europe. I think he would have added to the highlights on Giannis's MVP reel. That's basically, the guy loves passing.
It's got some flair to him.
Oh, so much. But he went to go make some money elsewhere because, he just would have helped with the passing. That's what he would have been. But they lack a guard. And so is Giannis going to be happy? The fact that Miles Turner takes a lot of pressure off him defensively, that's great. That is great for him. But is he going to be happy with the guard play? What chance does this team have in the postseason?
It feels like
they've lost in the first round for the past 2 seasons. So what's the difference? I think making it to the postseason would be good for the Bucks, but Giannis has got to be in the locker room. Look at me. I'm the point guard now. He is. He's going to handle the ball. His numbers are going to go up somehow this season.
The Milwaukee Bucks, more than any other team, feel like the first 25 to 30 games, let's call it, feel so much more important than a lot of other teams. Like if it starts badly, and they are really bad because of maybe roster construction, it's not like the Giannis get me out of here rumors are going to quiet. They're just going to amplify.
Sharks will be circling.
Yeah.
But you don't think I just can't imagine a Giannis team being way below 500.
I know.
I just can't.
You're probably right. All right, to the Southeast Division, the Atlanta Hawks. Kaka!
All right.
Cats.
There's so many positives.
Oh, yeah.
Trae Young and Kristaps Porzingis picking pops, baby. A great defensive team built around Trae Young. The guys with long arms and Dyson Daniels, Zachary Sachet, Jalen Johnson, and Kristaps. A secondary ball handler beside Trae Young and Jalen Johnson is just so good at that. Let's go keep going down the ball handler list. Nickeil Alexander-Walker now. Vit Krejci, call him the 4th ball handler. I mean, they have so many. Kobe Buffkin could be the 5th ball handler. Remember him? Hopefully he plays. Did I mention the arms? They got more arms defensively. Mo Gay, Onyeka Okongwu's got some arms. Luke Kennard's going to come off shooting threes off the bench. This team is deep. They've got a really deep roster that can play you different ways. Quinn Snyder can throw them out at different types of lineups. And the future, the 26th draft day pick that they got from the Pelicans in that deal was pretty sweet. It could be a really, really good pick. So they're just lined up perfectly. They're just lined up really, really well. It's a great offseason, obviously.
Yeah, if the Rockets are the team that did more than any other team to help their title chances in 26, the Hawks did more than any other team to help their chances to just be a playoff team and maybe one of the elite teams or top teams in the Eastern Conference. They had an awesome offseason.
To move out of just that mediocrity,
right?
Which they've been a part of for
exactly.
a long
they are
time.
really hoping that they've done the work here now to get out of the damn play-in conversation and that mediocre 500 ball. And on paper, it looks like they maybe have, especially in this Eastern Conference that is diminished this year.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Atlanta?
More people asked me about the Hawks this summer than probably the past 5 years.
Yeah.
That's how excited people are to see a Hawks team built around Trae Young that makes the most sense of any team that's been built around Trae Young. Defense, shooting, youth, size and length, all around Trae Young, which is exactly what you need to put around him. So If the Hawks somehow win 43 to 38 games this season, I'm going to be furious. They got to get out of the 500 range.
Right.
Yeah, we got to get to 45 minimum.
And honestly, like truthfully, if you are in that range again, and let's say you're fairly healthy for the most part, like then maybe it is see you later, Trae Young. And maybe you pivot from him, right? Because you've done the right things, you've made the right moves here, you've got yourself out of some holes that you got yourself into with DeJounte Murray and all that. You've done great. This new front office is killing it. They're killing it. They're crushing it. So now it's Trae's like turn here to really lead this team to at least, we are not even saying lead them to the conference finals or final. We are saying just lead them to out of the damn play-in.
Yeah.
Be a 46-win team.
Yeah.
Be a
That would be
46
stellar.
to 50 win team. They should be. They should be.
Yeah, and the Trae Young arc is improving. I mean, we went through this, obviously, bowing in Madison Square Garden to a team that was tumultuous, not looking good. Is Trae Young going to be leaving? To potentially, here we go, a really good team. There's just really good players. And the fact is, on paper, in the future, they haven't said, oh, Kristaps Porzingis is the guy. I mean, he has an expiring deal after this coming year because that may not go well.
Right.
So they haven't decided that this is the team. They can pivot. Anzi Saleh has done a good job of that. So there's that part. But Eurobasket's going to be fun. Also, Kristaps Porzingis is going to be there. Zachary Richache has been working on the muscles. He's going to be looking good. Porzingis is going to be playing against Vit Krejci. So maybe they'll get some chemistry going on there. This team is good. This team is fun.
46.5 is their over-under win total prediction.
People are high on this team.
Even Vegas is like, oh yeah, we believe in the Hawks. I know. That seems
I can't confidently pick that one.
that's a tough one.
That will not be a lock.
No, I don't think so. All right, to the Charlotte Hornets we go. I'm optimistic about their backcourt hopefully playing together. I mean, I say backcourt. Where do you put Brandon Miller? Is he a 2? Is he a 3? You get my point here. LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller just playing together would be a start. They've barely played. And last year, this team did improve defensively under Charles Lee. So that was good. His first year as a head coach. But the offense was an absolute mess, especially when LaMelo was out. And then obviously no Miller there for a good chunk of it. They played like 450 total minutes together over only 20 games. And in fact, I think Schumann had the stat. They've played only 800 minutes together, Ball and Miller, over 2 seasons where Miller's been in the league. Like, we don't even know. So let's just get them out there together. I think they've done a pretty good job this offseason. I like Con Knipple there at the number 4 pick. Guy's a Summer League champ, and this team is. They brought in, they did bring in some vets. I really think to like try and like teach some of these guys like the game and how to win and be professional maybe a little bit more. Like I'm talking like Dinwiddie and Pat Connaughton and Plumlee. I guess they got a Plum Dog. Colin Sexton, if you consider him a vet. So that's the thinking here. Those guys are not stars, but to help around the fringes and to help in the locker room. And they need to start building on this. But it just starts with LaMelo Ball playing and Brandon Miller playing because they're both really good, talented players. Love to see them together. Yeah. So that's what the hope.
I'm still a LaMelo fan. But last year was a disgusting season from this guy. Even though he was putting up monster stats, he was not playing winning basketball at all. He was playing pickup basketball in the NBA. He was taking 30-footers with 1 foot. Fun to watch if you're a player, but if you're a coach, you're probably like, what are you doing, man? So stay on the court and play real basketball, I would say, as a goal for the Hornets this season.
Did you see his new tat?
Is it real? Hot Cheetos?
Oh, I saw. Yeah, I guess he did have the Hot Cheetos toes. If that's real, he's got an entire leg sleeve.
Oh, well, that's
like
fine.
Crazy amount of detail.
Oh, that's probably
so.
Real.
I assume
that part's real, maybe.
Yeah,
but he's also got a Cheetos. I
well,
haven't seen either.
I don't know if that part's real. It's like going around that his foot is like flaming on the ends, like his toes is all tatted up because he's a big Cheeto guy. I guess I assumed it was real knowing him. He's got some crazy tattoos. He does, as it is, so why not?
Yeah.
Wow, epic tattoo session with 5 artists.
Yeah, the leg sleeve is nuts.
Okay.
All right, you're getting into it. 5 artists working on it at the same time.
That's too many.
There's a lot of ink.
Too many.
Too much ink.
Yeah, it was. It's kind of downtime at times for sports. So what happened to go on my TV was a random mixed martial art fight from Poland, I think, where their tattoos are just pure AI, just fighting with these random. Like you mentioned, Cheetos, just any random sponsorship. They just put them on them.
Hold on. You're saying the broadcast
Yeah.
is is CGIing on tattoos onto the fighters now.
Yeah. Yeah, but this ain't the UFC. This is just anyway. So I think that maybe it happens in basketball at some point.
I think these are real with him.
Yeah,
This guy loves getting tattooed.
he does. Well, hopefully he really takes care of his ankles this year because that's the important thing. I thought those ankle braces that he
tattoo
said,
on some ankle braces.
yeah,
Onto your,
do it. It's a
forget
great
the
idea.
Cheetos, man.
No,
Those
'cause
snap easily.
The real ones didn't work. Real ankle braces didn't work.
Right.
So here we go.
Miami
Get some
Heat.
tattoos.
Trey, the Heat. Come on, let's go.
Zach Lowe thinks he'll be good. That's my reason for optimism because I can't find one on my own. I was shocked to hear both Zach and Michael Pina were pretty bullish on the Miami Heat, and I think it's the Mary J. Blige effect. No more drama. Jimmy Butler is gone, and I think the Heat are hoping that his trade request and, I guess it was contract request at the beginning of the season, having that not be a factor this year, the Heat are hoping that they have better continuity. I do think Norm Powell is a great get for them. They need somebody who gets downhill. Norm does that while also giving you the 40% shooting that you lost when Duncan Robinson went to the Pistons. So I look at the Heat. I see a lot of good players, like a lot of guys that would be in rotations for other teams, but they don't really have the ceiling raiser. Tyler Hero had an all-star season last year. He was really good. Bam had a bad season, but he's still a solid player. I just don't necessarily know how high they can lift a team, even in an Eastern Conference that's not going to be crazy competitive. So I think the Heat need some good seasons from Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, and Nikola Jovic to reach their peak. And even their peak, I'm like 44 wins. I'm not very enthusiastic about this Miami Heat team. They just seem like they are waiting for the next big name to come around because they still do need a big name. But if Zach is on board, there must be something there.
That's true. I mean, Zach must be hitting the over then. 37.5.
Okay, see, I would take the over probably.
Yeah.
But if it was 42.5, I would probably take the under.
Yeah, you're getting a little dicey there. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's this idea of like back to Heat culture, baby. Jimmy somehow was all about Heat culture and then he sort of ruined it.
Yep.
He went against it. So now we go back to business and you're still well coached and you do have some pieces there and maybe some growth from some of these guys that we've seen for a couple of years.
Yeah, I think it's easy to be optimistic because this team, even though they didn't have Jimmy Butler and the culture was gone, they were still a top 10 defense. So that part's not going anywhere.
Right.
And then you add Norman Powell. The guy is a bucket. Hopefully he stays healthy this entire year, but coming off his best season, how can you not be excited about that? Plus the other offensive options. I mean, Khalil Ware has to grow. This is year 2 for him. So their offense should be better. And their defense is going to be good. So, 37.5 seems a little low for this team.
Do you think the Heat will be better than the Atlanta Hawks? Do you think they'll be better than the Orlando Magic, who we'll get to in a second? Do you think they'll be better than the Milwaukee Bucks or the Philadelphia 76ers?
Maybe.
Or the Pacers? Yeah,
Those are some questionable teams. I would say the first two you started with the first
Hawks was the first.
Hawks. Yeah, that's a no. I go Hawks and
I
Magic.
honestly bring
higher.
these teams up. Like I throw the Pistons in there. It's like on some of those, I'm like I almost go 50-50 on a lot of those. That's why the Heat are tough to figure out. I'm like I could see it than a lot of these teams I'm mentioning, but I could also see them winning 38 games and being below most of these teams. So we'll see. We'll see what Spoelstra gets out of that squad there. The Orlando Magic, Tass.
You got to be excited because they brought in a ball handler. Everyone has been waiting for a ball handler beside Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs, that's not his forte. They got one in Desmond Bane. Obviously, he's a great three-point shooter, but I think what goes under the radar is the guy can pass, averaging 5 assists per game the last 2 seasons. I think he can be a perfect on-ball creator when you get past Paulo Banchero as your number 1 guy. I think he can shoot off the ball. He can attack closeouts. So when Franz, Paulo get all the attention, that guy can attack. I think he can be great and create space for Banchero and Wagner. They need it, obviously. I think there'll be a lot of 2-man games between him and Banchero. And then, you do have Jalen Suggs, who's underrated because he's such an incredible defender, but he is a really good off-the-ball shooter when he doesn't have to be the lead guy. And there's some great percentages of him starting the season with Banchero and Franz before Banchero got hurt. He was awesome. He was really, really good. The first 5 games, he was shooting 42 from 3. He was hot. And, I think he's been pretty good on catch and shoots, even though his numbers dropped off. So those two guards with Banchero and Franz Wagner, you got to be excited. I think you got to be really excited. They needed a three-point shooter. They got one. They needed a ball handler. They got one. I think he fits in. I know they paid a lot, but I do think he fits in with their defense too. So I think they'll be a stacked team. I think this team should be up at 45, 46, 47. They should be.
Oh,
easily.
Vegas has them at 51.5.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
I think
That's high, but yeah.
they have them at almost getting into
projection.
that second tier, I guess, if you want to call it, in the Eastern Conference. I was high on them last year heading into that season. I took the over. I think it was one of my locks, and it was less. It was like around, probably it was 47, 48 wins, something around there. I felt great the first little bit. They looked like the real deal. And then, the oblique injuries got them, no doubt, to Banchero and Franz, and Suggs is always injured, so that's a part of the equation here. But yeah, getting in Bane and then having these guys, they should be flirting with 50 wins for sure. If everybody is healthy, Trey, it seems like you agree.
Yeah, I do agree. But we need to see better offense from the Orlando Magic. And I don't just mean the players need to be better, though that is a huge part of it. They need some more creative offense because it's basically Paolo go one-on-one or Franz play in a pick and roll. And there wasn't really much else outside of that. I think I haven't looked into who their assistant coaches are. Do they got any good basketball players there? Because I think an offensive coordinator would be huge for this team. And to me, Franz is the swing player for the Magic if they are able to reach that pretty high over-under. What'd you say, 51 and a half? Yeah, I think he is the question mark for me because either Franz or Paolo has to shoot it well. Paolo was at 32% last year. Franz was just a shade under 29.5. Paolo's going to have the ball more than Franz. So it has to be Franz, I think, that really improves his three-point shot, and it seemed to regress last year. Like, it looked smooth at the beginning of the year. Then he had the oblique injury, and he came back, and it was hitch central.
Yeah.
So hopefully one of those two guys is able to figure out how to shoot.
Yeah. I don't know if it's ever going to be Franz. But I think
Bane should sure help. Holy crap, this guy shoots a lot of threes and shoots them in a good clip.
Yeah.
He's just one man, unfortunately, you know.
Banchero, I think without the injury last year, was looking good before it, and hopefully the pressure off of him with ball handlers will help his three-point percentage go up. But assistants, they don't look like they can ball for the Orlando Magic. Joe Prunty ain't saving this. Although God Shamgod left the Mavs to come join them, so they got a baller.
Okay, they got a ball handler.
Okay, good stuff. All right, our final team. We've almost made it. One of our longest podcasts ever. Part of The Athletic. What a fitting way to end. The Washington Wizards is the squad. I guess reason for optimism is the baby boom is what I'm calling it. Because you're really looking at which one of these young guys could make that leap, right? To really blossom into a superstar or maybe potential superstar. This is wild, though. With their 2 first-round picks, Trey Johnson and Will Riley, along with the additions of Cam Whitmore, Malachi Branham, and Dylan Jones, the Wizards now have 10 former first-round picks still on their rookie deals. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Corey Kispert is the only vet Washington has under contract for 26-27. Meaning the Wizards could have $80 million in cap space after trading Jordan Poole for CJ McCollum's expiring contract. The point is, there's a lot of youth on this team. There looks to be some talent there, but I think you got to start seeing a couple of these guys sort of blossom. Alex Sarr played much better after the All-Star break. No one cares because it was on the Wizards on a crappy team. It's a little bit of Mickey Mouse March, but he got better. He did. The numbers jumped. Bilal Coulibaly, he looks like a great player. His sophomore season came to an end. He had the hamstring injury, but you're hoping him with a full year of health could be a two-way force. So, and then all the guards, and I'm not going to list every goddamn guy, but like it's a lot of young kids here. They're going to be bad. There's no doubt. But can they find some gems in the bunch here? Maybe in the new picks or some of these guys they've picked up and acquired and given a second life to pop off here, especially Cam Whitmore, which a lot of people are pretty excited about. So yeah, I guess that's where I am in with the Washington Wizards.
I like the Wizards. Yeah, I'm in on their rebuild right
now.
I still think they are the main player away, unfortunately.
Sure.
But I think they have basically everything else. Like if they would have hit on the lottery and gotten Cooper Flagg, everybody would be like, look at the young core in Washington. So they've got all the support pieces. They still need the head of the snake, but I think they're doing a good job getting their ducks in a row. And this team is going to look so much different at the end of the season. compared to the beginning of the season. Because you mentioned all the young guys. They still got all these old dudes that they're going to trade eventually. Your
Yes.
Middletons, your McCollums, stuff like that.
Yeah. So there it is. All 30 teams, reasons to be excited on differing levels, depending on the team. But hopefully we did a decent job of that. Let's hear from you guys with any of those squads in the stream team as you are, in the YouTube comments. You can tweet at us as well, at No Dunks Inc. Reasons for optimism for your favorite team or any of these teams that we've gone through. Maybe what did we miss? What slipped through the cracks? Let us know. This is our final show with The Athletic. So again, thanks to The Athletic for the years of support and all the collaborators. We had a blast. 6 years gone like that. But that doesn't mean No Dunks is going anywhere. We'll be back next week with some basketball content and the start at the end of the week of our Jurassic Pals, our Jurassic Park movie franchise watch. We did it with Fast and the Furious back in the, I guess, COVID days, really. We're doing it with Jurassic Park. We'll start with the classic Jurassic Park 1, 93, banger of a movie. We'll be talking about that. That'll drop on Friday. We'll set the premiere on Friday. And then every week, a new one will drop that we'll have already in the books. So look forward to that, as well as the NBA content for the coming weeks. Anything to add, guys?
Well, I'll say it's the summer of reinvention, as we've said. I thought there was a chance here as we get to a near 2-hour podcast that we would reinvent ourselves and say, we're an hour in, let's just do 2 and just drop it there. Just cut it there. Say we're done. And just be this new show that can just cut in the middle and say, we can make this 2. Done. But nah.
I say we keep going for an hour.
People are still coming in.
That's the real twist.
Reasons to be optimistic about every G League team this year.
Okay.
College Park Skyhawks.
Go on.
Kobe Buffkin.
Oh, wow.
Healthy.
Yeah, I guess he'll still be
Yeah, I'll
there.
probably rehab at least.
Yeah, he'll be bouncing back and forth for sure.
Tyson Etienne has left because he is on the Brooklyn Nets as a two-way guy. That's the guy that we worked out with, Trey.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
I rewatched that video. You're already reinventing yourself, getting more fit, because we both could have taken it up a notch. That's all I
We're
gotta
holding
say.
back in the workout videos.
We just weren't that fit. Oh, I mean, we're fit, but
guys
you
are
know,
in the best shape of your
we
lives
want to
now.
get super fit. We want to get super fit with
get
Tyson
super fit.
Etienne.
All right. Hit the like button, subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. Like I said, now would be the perfect time to help out your boys in this big summer for No Dunks here. Big announcements coming your way, but don't you worry, the content will keep coming. Until next time, until next week, Clipper Bros!
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, I already used it. I already used my line. It's the summer of reinvention. That's it. We'll just pull it, do it again. So it's the summer of reinvention. There we go.
Embrace the day, people.